Oh, here we are. Oh, look who's here. We having fun, guys? Don't worry, I'm all by myself right now. Give me a sec. Oh, there's all kinds of people talking. Let's make sand people noises. I love it, Sorry, I don't know where Lady McLaterson is, but I'm going to hold down the fort until he gets here. Okay, guys, so I'm really sorry about that. It's kind of crazy. Oh, hello, League of Extraordinary Sixthers. Hello. Good to see you. Real funny, guys. Real funny. All right, we already know TIE Fighters parked out front. Just get in here. All right? Whoop, whoop. I'm happy to be here. This is good. I hope you're happy. All right. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Forget this. Okay? Forget it. Give me a minute. Okay. All right. Real funny. What are we? Rogue 7, Rogue 8? What's your call sign?
What did I tell you about parking there? Second live stream? You excited? I know I am.
This is an heirloom. This is a family heirloom.
Ooh, all right. Sorry I'm late, guys. My fault. But I had to take care of that ugly blemish out in the parking lot. But hey, how we doing, guys? A lot of people in here. Excited to see all of you. What?
It was a family heirloom.
Hey, look, I told you not to park there, so I think that you need to chill. But yeah, man, but we're here, right? We're here.
Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Dune Sea. I'm Seth.
And I'm Konnor.
My favorite comment is from YouTube, and it is from C. Pelisek 3252. George Lucas impression and air fryer joke is the real S tier. We're here for it. I've peaked as a comedian, folks. Just so everyone's aware. I'm never going to be funnier. Go check out last week's episode.
That's true. You were never funnier than that. Probably you peaked. Who am I kidding? I probably peaked with that George Lucas impression. And my favorite comment comes from a little known account on Instagram known as @StarWarsTime.show or StarWarsTimeShow everywhere else. He says, I'm just excited to be on a show with @LairdGeek. @PressPause Photography is all right too with a kissy face emoji. Well, hey, that's a great segue, because without further ado, we want to welcome into the podcast here for the first time, Matt from the Star Wars Time Show. Woo! Woo! Hello.
Woo! Look at that man. Yay.
How we doing? Let's just make sure. Can everybody hear Matt okay? Let me know if we can hear Matt okay.
Everybody good? Everybody happy?
We're having just a little bit of technical difficulties in there. Cannot hear Matt. Okay. Well, hey, that's all right.
Give us a second.
See, I've got Matt in here who's like, he's the pro. We're the newbies. So give me just a moment to fix that, and I will absolutely fix that. Matt, are you able to lock in on OBS the main the screen that you're in so that you can mess with another scene? Is that possible?
I didn't do anything.
Okay, give me a second. I got this. Don't worry.
Give us a second, guys. I guess that you can't really. Okay. I can't even see the chat. I don't even know how to interact with people. Oh, Mando Pirate giving us this. I like it. I didn't do anything. Seth's revenge. Oh my goodness. My goodness.
Yeah,
Communicate
Matt's
through the
just going
force.
to pantomime the entire show while I figure this out. I thought I had it all figured out. Evidently not.
The force and the force is with me. I'm one with the force and the force is with me. I'm one with the force and the force is with me.
So we've got...
I'm with the force and the force is with me. I can't see anything. I can't see the chat. I've got nothing. I'm just kind of sitting here. I guess I'll just... Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So it's all going great. It's all going great.
Yeah.
Here.
Is it?
Here.
Yeah.
Here, Seth.
Things are great here.
Seth is going to interact with the chat.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I can interact with the chat. Guys, what do you want to talk about? I would love to talk about it. Don't worry. We aren't going anywhere. Thanks, Alan. I'm here for it. Oh, do they? Oh, do they? Oh, let's just watch this crash and burn on here. Life. Tell you about it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so
yeah, seriously, what do you guys want to talk about? I can't see. Oh, someone's exploding back there. That's cool. How you doing that?
Yeah,
that's legit. It's legit. No, seriously. So, oh, look at that. That's cool. That's cool. What's the square root of 37? Do your best Star Wars impression. Hello there. Who's more the fool or the fool who follows?
My goodness. Okay,
Konnor, I'm dying here.
I'm trying. Okay, I don't know why
it got me doing impressions.
Okay, I'm such a newbie here. All right, I can explode TIE fighters, but I can't make audio work on streams. Video. It's all in shambles.
It is. Everything's on fire. We're fine here. How are you guys? I can't see the chat.
Yes, you can. It's right there.
No, I can only see their names. Ben Kenobi voice is the best. I like it. Oh, goodness. Oh, sure, because he's always back. Well, everyone else is occupied. Let me drop that I agree with Seth about Qui-Gon. Look what's there. Oh, man.
Yeah, if you haven't heard Matt.
Katie,
Seth
I knew
Qui-Gon.
I liked you. I appreciate that. I don't hate him. My goodness. No. I mean, if I don't think it's that. There was a lot of tribalism back when episode 1 came out, like when on the schoolyard, it was either are you team Qui-Gon or you're team Obi-Wan. And so I was like, well, this guy only lived through one movie. I know where Obi-Wan's going to end up, so I guess I'm going to go with him. That was kind of what started it. Yeah. Yeah. So that's where it all started, and it just kind of built from there. This seething where I'm just like, he's cool. He's fine. I don't know. Everyone like, hey, I got a question for you. They all like ganged up on me on the last one. About who do you think's better? Qui-Gon or Han Solo? Yes, I'm talking to you.
I mean, they can't hear him. So what are you doing?
Dang it, I'm just talking to nobody. Chat, you gotta talk to me because Matt can't, or you can't hear Matt. So you gotta talk to me, chat. Please. Yeah, Han Solo.
Wait, there we go.
Oh, can we hear him?
You get it?
Matt?
Hey, can you talk?
Matt, talk.
Hello. Hey,
I
now.
can't hear him now, though.
I can bring his audio in. Hold on.
Okay.
I think I figured it out.
I think we're okay. Guys, give it a second.
Alan says yes.
Alan,
okay.
Can you hear him? Matt, talk.
Hello there.
Okay, did we figure it out?
Guys, can you hear Matt and can we hear Matt?
Gosh, what? We're in shambles.
Now, this is pod racing.
No,
this is pod racing. This is Pretty Wizard.
Yeah, I know. Okay, we should be good now. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. That was my fault.
Hello there,
there was one toggle on OBS that I did not do it. My fault. All right, everybody on the rewatch already has been like, man, what in the world? What's going on? Hey, thank you guys so much for
thank you for bearing with us.
For bearing with us for that. Really appreciate it. I'm going to pull up some of you guys in the chat. MortisFM, so glad you're here. Thanks for being here. KDO, thanks for being here so much. League of Extraordinary Sixthers, thank you for being here. Of course, Tony, Star Wars, Sith, Alan, CG, Mando Pirate, good to see you. Looks like we got some cross-pollination here. Tia Freza. Tia. Yeah. Tia. Matt, the audio technician, Ashton Sharrett. Dude, this guy. So good,
Or
man.
Ashton. Are we getting
Sign this
punked?
person up.
What's that?
Are we getting punked?
Why are we getting punked?
Like Ashton Kutcher. I was trying to
my
make a
gosh,
joke. Okay,
you're-
sorry.
no.
Okay, well, I'll just
Okay,
be. I'm
so-
done. I'm done. Sorry.
Because we got so derailed. I apologize. Matt, it is good to have you here. If you guys are fans of the Star Wars Time Show, which you should be, there's kind of like they have some fun with some technical difficulties from time to time, and it's part of the fun, right? Matt can
Pretty
be a
much
little
every
louder.
show, man.
All
I mean,
right.
this is just the joys of doing lives. So
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I'm a newbie. Matt's the one. How many episodes you guys got under your belt at this point in the Star Wars Time Show?
we are published on Star Wars Time. I think we just did 294 this week,
Wow.
and I'd say 190 of those are probably live streams. We started live streaming during COVID, like April of 20, when some of our fans were like, "Hey, there's nothing going on. Why don't you guys put your stupid faces on the screen and talk?" And we did,
Okay.
and like you guys, we suffered through all sorts of fumbled starts and tech issues. But now we mostly start right around 5 o'clock, and every once in a while Nick will drop out or my internet will get cut. So
Gotcha. Well, like I said, it is a pleasure to have you here. It's kind of like it's a full circle moment for me personally, because I've said this before. My handle here at Press Pause Photography. I've been in the toy photography community for a while. The Star Wars Time Show is a staple in this toy photography community, if you're familiar with that. And you guys were some of the first people to notice my work, and we've had a lot of conversations and become friends. So this is just really cool. I was on your show a couple weeks ago, and now you're over here. And so today we're going to be getting into some hot takes, of course. It's going to be a lot of fun. But before we do that, just so you guys can get to know Matt a little bit, if you don't know him already, just some brief little things here. Just a couple things. Just want to start you out with what's your favorite Star Wars movie, Matt? We're taking a page out of Star Wars Sith.
I'm right with Seth on this one. Return of the Jedi, 100%, no questions asked. It is the best Star Wars film.
Okay, all right. Defend your honor here. What do we got? Why is it better than Revenge of the Sith?
Because it's actually a good movie, and the acting isn't garbage, and you have that lovely fight between father and son. You have the once redemption of Anakin Skywalker, which has been tarnished by somehow he's returned. But it's a beautiful film. I mean, it is the film of my generation. People will tell you Empire is number one. It is not. It is Return of the Jedi.
Love
Thank
it.
you.
I love it. And you got the hot takes have started already. Tony, LOL, hot take. Hey, guys, today we're going to be having a lot of these, and we're just having fun. So you are more than welcome to tell us why we're wrong. But we're just having a good time.
I'm used to it. I mean, I on the internet, I'm called the old guy screaming at clouds. So I'm sure I'll get a lot of those today.
Yeah, right. We're all going to get some. We've all got some today, I'm sure. So
well, tell Alan Boba did die, but that was Bozo Fett, so that's okay. Bozo Fett died in Return of the Jedi. We got real Boba Fett and Mandalorian.
Seth, what do you got?
What
what do you got for Matt?
Oh, Matt, who's your favorite Star Wars character and why?
Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker, because I mean, do I have to pick one of his versions, or can I lump them together? I guess
they share a body. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the chosen one, and it started obviously with him as Darth Vader for me, being a child of the '80s, and I was hoping to see how he became the Dark Lord of the Sith in the prequels. And while I got to see that, it didn't quite jive with what I was expecting. But I still love the man. He is one of the greatest movie characters of all time, both his villain and his hero forms.
Groovy. I like it.
Fair enough. Man, I feel like you've rehearsed these answers. You got these.
I just
tightened down.
You just.
I was on Tony's show and he asked me these same questions. I think I spent 45 minutes on just those two.
I talk a lot. I mean, in real life, I'm a college professor, so I kind of talk for a living. It's just I'm good at it. It might not be a lot of great things coming out of my mouth, but I'm kind of like a wind-up toy, especially with Star Wars. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
again, remember you told me 5 hot takes. I whipped up about 16. Probably could have done another 50. That's just.
Oh, I know. I knew you were the guy
up here.
you were the guy to call when it came to the hot takes. So, going into the Star Wars Time Show, you guys obviously you've been around for quite a while. I would consider you guys kind of one of the pillars up there in the Star Wars community. I really like your tagline. Remind me, what's your tagline? It's
There's always time for Star Wars time, my friends.
Not that one.
Forget it.
That one's a great one too. It's what is it? A podcast for an uncivilized podcast for a more civilized
podcast
time?
for a more uncivilized age.
That's what it is, and that I think that is such a good.
You think?
Yeah, I love it because you guys get
the the show.
Yeah, I love it. I love it because us, we're kind of like we're the Disney show over here sometimes, but you guys got a little bit of an edge to you, and I like that. That's why I like tuning into your show every week. So it's a lot of fun. But what made you start Star Wars Time Show?
Oh man, I mean, just a lifelong fan. As you and I talked when you were on, I mean, it's in my DNA. My origin story is it was just there. By default, Matt always liked Star Wars as a kid. I was born in '80, obviously. I was in my mother's womb when they went to go see Empire Strikes Back. Maybe some of the waves were percolating through her gut into my brain. I don't know. But by 3 years old, I saw Return of the Jedi in theaters and, wore out VHS tapes. It's influenced everything about me up until this point. My career, what I like to do. You name it. It's just Matt is Star Wars. Star Wars is Matt. I really can't even think of a time where Star Wars wasn't one of my core belief systems, if you will.
So the Star Wars Time Show is just a great outlet for that, huh? And
yeah, it's like, hey, I've got all this useless knowledge that no one cares about unless you like Star Wars as much as I do. So I was like, why not try to get it out there into the ether, try to make people slightly more informed fans, right? You and I, we've talked about it. Sometimes Star Wars fans, they're, lacking a few brain cells when it comes to just being able to figure out timelines and where things fit. And you question if they're watching the same moving images as yourself. So
right.
That's the other thing. I'm out here to kind of clear things up, provide clarity where it is not had.
So are you going to be the guy like slapping us in the back of the head? Going like, you're not watching the same thing I'm watching. Is that what's going to happen today?
I understand you two, at least from what I've picked up from the show and obviously talking to Konnor over the years, I hold you guys as intelligent Star Wars fans. So
hey, that's an accolade coming from the Star Wars Time Show.
Appreciate that.
As I told Konnor, I don't know how much you hear about this, Seth, but I have problems, okay? A lot of problems. I'm a Star Wars narcissist. It's also very hard for me to see other people doing what I'm doing be more successful. I'm just being honest, okay? But when I saw you guys start,
you watch this negative talk. Okay.
Listen, it ends up positive.
Okay. All right.
When I saw you guys launch for the first time in my messed up head, I was like, you know what? This is some really quality Star Wars programming. And I'm going to get over myself and I'm going to promote these guys. I'm going to tune in. I'm going to check out their stuff. I'm going to be a fan. And I am to this day. Like I absolutely love what you guys are doing. All that I ask is when you get as big as Pat McAfee out there in Indianapolis, please invite me to your Thunderdome so I can be a part of your team. Okay.
Sounds good.
Sounds good, man.
If that ever happens.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So you're only one half of the Star Wars Time Show. There's another. You're also a duo over there.
Yeah, young Nick.
Yeah, young Nick.
I would, and I don't think he would mind me saying this. I mean, I am Star Wars Time. Nick is my co-host. You know what I mean? So I drive most of the content. Anything you see get put out is probably for me. But he's my wingman. I love the kid. I've been working with Nick since. I think we started talking Star Wars right when TFA came out. So what was that, 2015-ish, a little bit before that. And we've been doing it ever since. So, wow. We've almost gone a decade at this part, pretty much weekly. Started as just a pure podcast. And then, like I said, in 20, we moved to the stream. And then we also, record the stream out to the podcast platforms a day later. So, I mean, it's listen, I've done some solo shows. Seth got to kind of experience trying to drive a show today by himself. Solo shows, hey, they're fun because you don't have to worry about sharing the screen or the mic, but
Yeah.
it's not nearly as entertaining as talking with other like-minded individuals. Even if we don't agree, I still love talking to Star Wars fans that I know aren't idiots and aren't going to start, going low and attacking me for my opinions and whatnot.
Yeah, that's where I draw the line right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always where I draw the line. It's like when the attacks start getting lobbed, it's like, man, what? We're talking about space wizards, guys. Can we tone it down a little bit?
Yeah. Thank you.
But hey, and I got one more question for you.
Sure.
More of a serious one. If you could boil it down into maybe a sentence or two, at the end of the day, what does Star Wars mean to you?
Oh, you got me here. See, I'm usually rapid fire. Star Wars to me is the epitome of what a human can do when they have an unbridled imagination and the support of their family and friends. How's that?
It's well said.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, with all that, let's check in with the chat, and then we'll jump right into our main topic of the week here. So we've got some new faces here. Bob Ferreira. I am awful at pronouncing names. I apologize, but appreciate you being here in the chat. Mando Pirate. Hey, Bat. Yeah, Bat2797. Great to see you in here. And I love this from Bob. I'm 63 and still with the Force. Love it. Tales from Tashi Station. Great to see you in here. Hey, Tales from Tashi Station. They just started. He just started his own show. He's doing kind of little bite-sized segments right now. Some what if content. He's doing some pretty cool stuff over there. Go check them out. They're on Instagram, Spotify right now. I said it earlier. It's just Star Wars. What's there to be negative about? Exactly. So there's a lot of Star Wars news these past couple weeks, but we're not really the Star Wars news channel. If you're into that, go over to the Star Wars Time Show, or go over to DiamondFigs, MortisFM, and Star Wars Sith 66. They did a great coverage this week as well. So if you're looking for Bad Batch trailer stuff, we did some reels this week. I'll keep it brief. It was awesome. Somehow Asajj Ventress returned. All that stuff.
It's not Crosshair.
Yeah, it's not. Oh, the True Believer clone.
The True Believer.
But you have a quick thought.
I think it's Crosshair.
You think it's Crosshair?
He's got the gun on his backpack.
No way.
Cody.
You think Cody stays bad?
The most emotional impact if that's Cody, because you remember last season he willingly walked away, but only Rampart told Crosshair, "Oh yeah, he's gone." Well, do we believe Rampart? Do we believe any Imperial officer?
That's true.
Yeah.
What if Cody's like, "Hey, I'm done, Empire. I'm going to leave," and they're like, "No, you're not," and they reprogram, turning into a true believer.
MortisFM in here, tech. I swear, I don't.
I see a lot of that too.
I know. I see a lot of this too. It's no way.
He's not the Winter Soldier. Hate to bring it to you.
I get it, but let's honor his death, please.
Yeah.
I mean, he made a great sacrifice. It wasn't Kanan level, but it was up there. It was emotional. Let the dude rest.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
And also,
no one's ever really gone.
Yeah, right. And also, I think that they made a point in the trailer to show him dying again, and that's a weird choice if you're going to just backpedal it. I don't know.
Dude, I mean, we all know. I mean, he said it. No one's ever really gone. So I'm definitely nervous.
I know there's a chance.
The Crosshair to me, he's so depressed. He's already turned on the Empire. He already tried to, get his buddies to come help him. You and I, and through your breakdowns, other breakdowns I've watched, we saw him in the trailer. So maybe he gets rescued early on. So I don't know. I really think it's going for Cody.
Yeah. I just think it's just one of the True Believer clones. I don't think it's anybody we know. I don't think it's a name
That'd work
clone.
too. That would make me.
What are you staring at?
I love being right. So as long as I'm right, everything's good.
Right. So that's all we'll kind of get into with Bad Batch. We're kind of saving some of our Bad Batch stuff, just kind of a tease for the pipeline with Seth and I. We're probably going to be doing some Bad Batch retrospectives kind of coming up. Maybe some S1, maybe some S2 stuff. So we'll get into more the trailer. So I know we got some DMs and some questions to talk about that during the stream, but that's not the topic of the day. I know we're very atopical, if that's a word. So getting right into our hot takes, because I know this is gonna get fun. we're going to kind of just break down. Each of us brought some to the table. And you guys in the chat, feel free. We're going to have some fun. Okay, you're going to hear stuff you're going to disagree with. I'm going to hear stuff I'm going to disagree with because I know Matt's got stuff I disagree with. I know Seth's got stuff I disagree with. But we're all just having fun. At the end of the day, we're all still friends. So, and that's what Star Wars is about, right? So let's just let's have a good time. Tell us why we're wrong, and have some fun banter with us. So to kick us off,
can I explain too what I'm going to do?
Oh, sure, go ahead.
So if I agree with your take. If I kind of agree with your take, if I hate your take, that's all I'm going to really do. So there we go.
Seth brought the prop comedy today.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So there
I
we
wish
go.
I could see him clear, but
you can't see it. It's Mr. Incredible.
Well,
he's got the small screen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm like on a pixelated look.
Oh,
here.
I'm sorry. It's Mr. Incredible that he's.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the meme there.
Yeah.
So to start us off, to kind of kick, I'm going to bring in a light one to kick us off, and then we'll pass it over to Matt, and we'll kind of just rotate out.
Okay.
I got a hot take. I'm going to bring things down. Wait, why? What are we talking about?
I just know you're going to bring the heat. That's all.
We'll just keep you nicely between us.
Yeah.
That's all.
So
you got your arm around. Yeah.
Here's one of my hot takes. It involves the Solo movie.
Okay.
And I brought a prop too. I think that this design for the Millennium Falcon is the best design for the Millennium Falcon and one of the best ship designs in Star Wars. I love it. As soon as I like Solo, it's far from my favorite movie. I think it's fine. But when I saw this in the trailer, I don't know. It's just got such a slick design. I think it's really cool. I love the escape pod look in here. And this ship, not this one specifically, it was the Hot Wheels one, was the what got me into toy photography. Funny enough, I picked that up at Target and I just started taking pictures of it. So yeah, hit me. Why am I wrong?
It looks stupid.
It looks stupid.
There's
way
just
too clean. Too clean.
I just don't like the nose.
Angles.
I don't like the nose. I don't like that it. I really like the whole. When you, I guess you do that.
Whoa,
sacrilegious, I guess. But yeah, you do that. I like the V that the Falcon has with the headlights on it. I think that's cool looking.
It looks like a slice of pizza with a blue line on it.
It does. Oh, I kind of like that. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Solo is good. But yeah,
man, I'm getting flamed in here.
Wow, we're at the.
Yeah, we win.
I was gonna say
Matt won.
Okay, so so I'm not kidding. Look, I don't have any real argument for this. I just think it looks cool.
What's the satellite dish look like on the top in that model?
What's it look like?
Yeah, because it changes, so it's a circle.
It's just
because it's different in Force Awakens.
Yeah, it's like got the rectangle.
Yeah,
in Force
it's a square.
Awakens.
I don't even like that.
Yeah,
don't mess with.
Don't get me wrong. I think the OG Falcon model is dope too. You
just said that's the best.
I think this is cooler.
You think that is
Seth? That one gets really good when they land on that planet to drop off the coaxium.
I was gonna say it's really awesome when they eject the escape pod to escape away.
Then it's broken and Lando's all bummed out.
Now here Matt Bat 2797's got a good point. It says the outline of the Falcon is very iconic. You can't take away that image. I am a big advocate, we said it on the show many times, of Star Wars silhouettes. I will say that is a point against it.
It's true.
The silhouette of the Falcon is very iconic.
I always think when they're going down into the space slug and the lights turn on in Empire as they're going down, like that's so cool looking.
Yeah.
And you don't get that with that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from the OG one.
I'm just letting you know where I'm coming from.
Hey, Alan's with me.
Konnor, it is very. It's much more of Lando's Falcon, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It's just got like a slick. I don't know, like a. It reminds me of like a 50s
a cloak.
Yeah,
it reminds me of like an old 50s Chevy or something. That's what I got from it. So there we go. I started off with what I thought was an easy one. So, Matt, go ahead, hit us. What do you got? Everyone throw tomatoes at Konnor.
I guess I'm going to stay away from the prequels for now.
Yeah, I was going to say that's going to snowball.
Let me set this one up, because I actually like I'm gonna lay it out there, and then I have some actual evidence as to why this is true, and there's really no argument. Ready? R2-D2 is more important / heroic than the Skywalkers. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Naboo, without R2-D2, Padme, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan Kenobi, dead. Game over. Sith win.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to keep going? Secret plans. He delivered the secret plans for the Star Wars, or for the Death Star 1. He connected Luke and Obi-Wan. He saved them from the trash compactors. He fought Yoda for a flashlight. He was an integral part of the Sarlacc pit trick. He had the hidden map to Luke, and he convinces Luke to train Rey. Boom!
I got one too. Anakin and Padme would have died on the conveyor belts if R2 hadn't turned them all off and attacked. The man spitting fire.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. They don't need the
He
Force.
never eats. He never sleeps.
He only talks in boops and beeps. It's it.
Told you. R2 is the true hero
Now, see,
of all of Star Wars.
to play a little devil's advocate, I don't necessarily disagree, but that's kind of like a causation thing where it's like you could also make that same argument where it's like, well, if
What if they never tried to leave Naboo? They never would have met him.
like Watto is actually the true hero of Star Wars, because if he didn't make Anakin a slave, then Qui-Gon would never have found him, and then you don't have the snowball
they wouldn't
effect.
even made it to Tatooine if R2 didn't get his little,
I know, I don't disagree, but I mean, to comparing the heroics, But no, R2 is great.
Yeah,
He's
I agree.
fantastic. That wasn't that hot a take.
I've held on to that one for. I always stump for R2. I really do believe he is the true hero in the end. I mean, if you think about it, the story of the original trilogy is told through the lens of the droids, so they've always been important.
So Konnor 1, Konnor 0, Matt 1, because everybody seems to agree with Matt here. KDO, R2 gets dragged along with all these misadventures and is like, guess I'll save everyone. R2 is the Skywalker family nanny if he was Chuck
Star
Norris
Wars
as a
Sith.
robot.
He's my man. I like that. Anyone that agree. There we go. Rich, you're the man. Bob's the man.
So MortisFM asks, so R2 over Anakin, Luke, and Leia in terms of heroics?
Yeah, that's what I said, 100%. Because Anakin, none of that
man
would.
of conviction.
Luke and Leia for sure wouldn't even existed if it's not for R2-D2. So we can just delete them. And Anakin would still be cleaning space parts in Watto's junkyard.
Yippee!
Yeah.
All right, hit me, Seth. What do you got?
Well, I was gonna ask. So I made an iceberg. Do you want top of the iceberg, middle of the iceberg, or the lowest of the iceberg? What do you want to start with?
Hit me with a light one to start.
Okay, the light one. I think that the secret sauce, like what makes Star Wars, is that fantasy element.
No way. I have the same take.
Really?
I have the same one.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That is it. That I think that's like the secret sauce. That's the
I
thing
wrote
that you
the
need.
exact same thing too. Like here,
Really?
I'll read it word for word. Mine says Star Wars is fantasy, and when it skews too far sci-fi, it loses the secret sauce that makes Star Wars Star Wars.
Oh, and I wrote the Star Wars secret sauce is its fantasy element.
That's so weird.
How about that? We did not talk ahead of time, guys. Yeah.
So is the fantasy element, like the family thing and the knights and this and that. Flesh this out for me.
So we've talked. We caught some heat for this one because we mentioned this in one of our videos talking about Ahsoka, because there's a lot of fantasy. The fantasy elements are a little heavier in Ahsoka, and we made a reel about it that kind of got some traction. And man, we got paragraphs and paragraphs of comments, and really, it's like the main difference, and we made this argument with Rogue One, is like you have the people who are the Rogue One and Andor diehards. But in my opinion, Andor and Rogue One, well, Andor more so, less so Rogue One, but Andor especially, is very sci-fi. It has very little of the sci-fi or of the fantasy elements. Okay, and I wonder if the people who enjoy sci-fi more than fantasy, those people seem to be like, if you put a Venn diagram there, they seem to also be the people who want to get away from the Skywalkers and all this other stuff. Whereas in my opinion, Star Wars is fantasy because it's got, as a literary device, you have mysticism. There's something, the Force, it's mystical. You have and
you've got the old wizard training the boy, gives him Excalibur, like it's just taken straight from mythology.
Exactly.
And you're using that kind of as your template to go.
And it's just set in space. That's the thing where people get it confused with sci-fi, whereas sci-fi is more about futuristic technology that's more based in like realism, quote unquote.
Yeah. Remember, we're watching a historical piece when we watch Star Wars.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's how J.R.R. Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings, for example, is he wrote those books as if he was writing a historical mythology of England. Like that's how those books are written. Like if you ever read like the forewords and stuff from J.R.R. Tolkien, it's as if he's translating a lost text that he found. And so in my view, that's how Star Wars is too, is it's this fantastical.
It's this legend.
Yeah.
All right. I'll give you credit for that. Although I'm a big fan of Andor. I think it's beautiful. So,
don't get me wrong.
I love all Star Wars though. Like I said on my show, it could be a flip book. As long as it's a good story, I don't care.
Yeah. I also think Andor is great. We're beating a dead horse, but
one way.
It just is
one way out.
I've always said it's like an HBO show cosplaying as Star Wars. Like that's what it feels like to me. It loses a lot of the luster. Like it's excellent. It's really, really good. Here's the best example I can give when it comes to Andor. We're talking hot takes, so here we go, right? I love Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. They're some of my favorite shows of all time. Take Better Call Saul, one of the best written shows ever. Exactly the same, except for make Giancarlo Esposito's character Moff Gideon. Like that's it. It's the only change you make. That's what Andor feels like to me. It's like just a couple things were tweaked, and it's still excellent. It's still really well written. I think the set design is fantastic. I think the story structure is immaculate. Actually, I think that's one of the best things about that show is its pacing.
Luthen's monologue, the writing,
it's terrific.
Show?
It is terrific. I just think there's something about it that loses. There's something lost in the shuffle, in my opinion. They're like, people like to clown on George's dialogue, the sand stuff and all that, but I think that element of the Shakespearean dialogue, the wooden dialogue, as people like to say, it's a timeless way of writing.
I'm Luke. Hi, I'm Han.
But it's I think it's part of that DNA.
Han Solo, Captain the Millennium Falcon. Chewie here tells me you're looking for passage to the Alderaan system. That's not that. Come on, it's better than that.
Ask George's actors what they thought about his writing.
Oh, I know they were with that too.
Hey, can I dovetail on Seth? Because I had like an or, and I think it fits to what
we're free flowing. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So we're sticking with Seth. Like Star Wars sans its fantasy tropes is not true Star Wars. Mine, and this is one of my ors, but I think it fits with what Seth is saying here. It's an ingredient of Star Wars. I think without it, we probably wouldn't even be having Star Wars shows at this point in time.
Right.
So without John Williams, Star Wars wouldn't have hit so hard emotionally.
That's not even a hot take.
I was going to say, my one at the very top of my list just says you can't have Star Wars without Ralph, John, or George. That you got to have something out of those elements. Yeah. So I agree.
Then, good. We can delete that one right away.
Let's say, I don't know if Ashton is still in here, but I mean, my goodness, George Lucas. George Lucas as well. But John Williams, I mean, it goes beyond Star Wars. That man has here we go. Yeah, there he is. Ashton Shara, Objective Truth has entered the chat.
Yeah.
By the way, we shout this guy out all the time. Follow him on Instagram. He does unreal breakdowns of Star Wars music.
I wish I understood.
Matt, are you familiar with him?
Ashton
Shara on Instagram?
I'll have to check him out. I'm slowly getting linked in with your group. Star Wars Sith I've linked up with. Mortis, I don't know if I've done that yet. But I'll look for it, yeah.
Well, Ashton he's the guy is an unreal talent. Like he is.
He can just break down music, and I wish I knew how to do that sort of thing. It's wild.
It's not just his ability to break down music. Like he has just a way of speaking that is.
Oh no, his voice is super cool too. Yeah, like he just sounds like a video game,
like good radio voice. Nice.
Yes.
Like, hey, I mean, get in there before he blows up, because hey now, so you could be one of the first. You know.
No,
he's awesome.
Yes,
seriously. Mm-hmm. Anyway. We're sponsored by Ashton Sharrett here on Beyond the Dune Sea, clearly. All right. Well, moving on. I guess we've hit a few hot takes. Not anything crazy, but
yeah, we made a round, right?
So all right, we kind of hit my second one, which was the fantasy thing. And here, actually, talking about the dialogue, this is one of mine. Is Anakin's sand monologue is great writing, and people need to relax on it. I think it's just become too much of a meme. I will explain myself. I mean, really, think about the scene. Strip away the meme. What he's talking about his home. He's talking about Tatooine. He was a slave there. Padme is trying to talk about Alan. I'm talking about like I hate sand. It's rough and coarse.
And
gets everywhere.
And he's
but not here.
In my bomb.
Yeah,
smooth.
Exactly. And he's trying to he's comparing his new life to his old life.
Oh yeah, and what's in front of him.
Exactly. And he's saying like, hey, I'm not a slave anymore. I don't live on Tatooine anymore. And like that because it was awful. I was a slave. But now I'm here and I'm here with you and I'm a Jedi and I'm learning to be more powerful and he clearly cares a lot about Padme. Now, sure, okay, it's maybe not the greatest delivery in the world, but I think the intention behind that interaction is really cool. And I think it goes to what I was speaking about a minute ago about that timeless dialogue that George constructed. I think it's interesting to look at the difference between the when you look at the OT versus the prequel trilogy, because I think in the original trilogy it sold a little bit better because I think that cast has a lot more chemistry than the prequel cast.
And George wasn't directing them for the last two movies.
And maybe that's part of it. I'm not in the George is a bad director camp. Maybe that is part of it. But I do think that
remove that hot take then.
Yeah. Well, hey, you can have as many hot takes as you want. But I do think that's an element. And I think that just the sets also, I think the actors were doing they had a lot of mental load in the prequels. They were already trying to have to visualize a lot. So to convey this type of dialogue was also difficult. But in my opinion, I think that it's a perfect, I chose that one because that's the most memed example. But speaking more broadly, I think that the dialogue in the prequels in particular and in Star Wars has a lot to do with that old style Shakespearean dialogue that is timeless. It's not bogged down by any sort of isms of the age or isms of today, and you can't date it in that way, which I think is great. Now, of course, you could pinpoint several other moments. Whenever I bring this up, I always have somebody who sends me a message or drops like, what about this line right here? And I'm like, I mean, I guess like that line is, but it's
we're Jedi. We're smarter than this.
Yeah. Like the one that I'll give an example of one that I hate, but it's in a deleted scene. So clearly George was like, yeah, you know what? This is right call to move it. It's in Revenge of the Sith when they're at the elevator and Anakin starts talking and R2-D2 beeps. Have you seen that? You guys seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's whack.
It is weird.
But anyway, so that's my hot take. I think the dialogue in the prequels is perfectly in line with the DNA of Star Wars. And I think the sand moment in particular is great writing. I'm not saying it's Better Call Saul levels or anything, but I think there's a lot of meaning behind it. And I think it's cool. In MortisFM, he's being weird. Okay, that's the point. Bro, when he says everything is soft and smooth and he rubs her, nah. I think the point is that he is being uncomfortable, right? Like it's like a build to that. All right, hit me, Matt. I can tell you disagree.
It's middle of the iceberg for me. I could see it, but I don't.
It's like I was talking a few weeks ago. Attack of the Clones has kind of become like a gem to me these days. It's just fun because of how messy it is and how poorly it's written and acted. So I kind of dig it. I'm with you. I'm like, sure, yeah, it's funny at this point. It's not funny. It's just like, yeah, it's the sand line. You almost wait for that scene to come up now and be like, you can tell the younger generation, see, that's where the memes came from right there. I remember it in 2002. It was a beautiful moment.
What do you
I want
got,
to comment
Seth?
on Bob real quick. Hey, Bob, Star Wars is actually heavily based on Dune and Foundation. So
that is true.
Yeah, George lifted a lot from, think about the Empire. That's Foundation. all that stuff.
Yeah, there was actually some plagiarism concerns when it came to Dune.
Oh yeah.
In the 80s and late 70s.
All I was gonna say is that, like, yeah, their dialogue's silly, but they're both they're good looking people in a beautiful place, because that actually, in that moment, that's a real place where they're at. Yeah. So I guess that makes the scene better.
One of the few.
Yeah, right? So I guess that kind of makes the scene better. I mean, they're both good looking people that, like,
that's an interesting fun fact about the prequels. Since you guys said
I know that there's way more practical things.
There's way more practical sets than people think. It's because all of the trailers and marketing material were with the CGI stuff, because that was new. Off. Yeah. So that's kind of entered the zeitgeist of the Star Wars community, and that's what people remember. But there were more miniature sets used on the prequels than any other Star Wars trilogy. They were tons of practical sets. Yeah. So I think that people don't give that enough credit. Yeah. All right, hit me, Matt. What's your next one?
Wow, I mean, we kind of just talked about it a little bit, so I don't want to eat it up. The whole George thing, I think this pains me, people. Like, this isn't easy to say as a lifelong fan. I love the man, absolutely love him. I think he's a creative god. But just based on my own eyes and what people he's worked with have said, literally on Star Wars behind the scenes type of reels, he is not good at directing humans at all. So George Lucas, in my opinion, is a subpar director. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it, boys.
I got a big gripe with this one, so I'll wait for Seth. Ooh, Seth's got a problem with this one too.
Oh no.
Look, here's the thing with this. Here's the first thing I'll say about this, because this drives me nuts when people talk about George Lucas. People only want to attribute the bad parts about the movies to George Lucas and only the good stuff to other people. It is
no. Listen, I said I love him and his.
I know, not you in particular. I'm just using this as a springboard to talk about something that irks me with the community. I see this all the time, like, oh, George was terrible at this. George was terrible at this. But man, ILM, they did such a good job here. Like, come on, man. That guy was a visionary director when it came. I mean, especially the prequels. If you look at those sets that he was directing, I mean, sure, we can complain about the CGI at the time, but I mean, that was groundbreaking stuff that, paved the way for cinema today. And that guy had to visualize all of that and direct. And I mean, it's incredible the work he was able to do. Was he a good people director? Was he able to pull performance? I don't know. I mean, I think that they're perhaps inconsistent is a better word, because there are moments in the prequel trilogy where, gosh, everybody's shining. I mean, rots when you have Hayden at the window, with the tears streaming down his face. Or you have Palpatine is Ian McDiarmid is selling that whole movie. I mean, the whole trilogy,
I'll give you that. Palpatine, Ian put forth the best performance in the prequels, hands down. It's not even close.
I would be curious.
Besides R2.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Here's a thought. I would be curious because imagine the prequel trilogy was so new, right, with the fully green screen sets. I wonder if it was less about George not being a super good person director, because A New Hope really isn't like that. Yeah, you have people complaining about the dialogue, but you don't really have as much wooden performance as you do in the prequel trilogy that people complain about. And he directed A New Hope. So maybe it's
a lot
less...
of that was saved in editing, though.
I've heard that that's kind of a myth with Katie Lucas. Not Katie Lucas, Marcia Lucas. I don't know. But anyway, performance still can't really be altered that much in the edit, which is what I'm getting at.
Well, but he was I just think that he got really, just pushing the technology as much as he possibly could. Because, he was painting people out of scenes when he's like, I like this take, and I'm going to get rid of this guy, and I'm going to meld these two takes together and stuff like that.
It was David Fincher before David Fincher.
Yeah. I think that, again, that's why I gave you the middle of the iceberg face, or the middle of the iceberg face, that I think that Matt's kind of half right. That I'm half with you and half with Matt. That I think that because he didn't want to direct the prequels. He was trying to get other people to do it.
Yeah.
And no one would, I don't know why, none of his homies came out. So weird.
Yeah.
That I feel like that, he wanted to make them and no one else would do it, so he had to direct them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what's he do? He came out swinging with Revenge of the Sith.
And,
So,
I mean,
yeah. I think they get slowly a little better with each one. It's just me, yeah.
I think just to round out that point, the only thing is like all these actors, I think for the first time are acting on fully green backgrounds. And so they're also having to learn new acting techniques with a director who is
building it.
Yeah, is already trying, it struggles with that.
A lot of things coming to the head, at least in the prequels. A lot of times when I think about George, I'm thinking back to my trilogy. Even back then, he was a very awkward man. And when I say not a subpar director, it's clearly not the full umbrella of what a director does. It really is just the people. He's not good at it at all. Everything else, the visions, the innovation, that man. I mean, there is no ILM without George. There is no THX without George. George is the one. He's the idea guy. He was like the Steve Jobs of the movie industry. He's not the one creating it, but he has the ideas, and then he can motivate teams of people.
Exactly. I mean, that's a great point. Like
The
motivating
volume.
teams of people.
Yeah.
I want to kind of round out this talk with these two comments from Rich Castro, and this is ultimately the point. It's like, give credit where it's due. Without George Lucas, we would not be having this conversation, which is not what Matt's saying. But I do see this sometimes, though, that like George Lucas was kind of the downfall, ruined everything, whatever. And that
absolutely not.
It irks me. It's like, yeah, he was the man. He paved the way for a lot, not just with Star Wars, but movies in general. And then with KDO, George Lucas deserves credit for being a visionary, considering the stories and world building he came up with, not to mention ILM. I mean, yeah, the dude he is, I've said this before, and this might be a hot take in and of itself. I think George is to cinema what J.R.R. Tolkien is to.
Okay, I was going to say, Konnor, he's Mount Rushmore of, movie makers, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think I mean, that's the best way to put it. He is up there with the greats.
I mean, not just birthing this Star Wars thing that's going to live on for generations, but just all the innovation in the technology. I mean, he's the guy that pushed, screw film, digital is the way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, all that's him. The volume, I heard Seth say, the volume is what George wanted. He just didn't have the technology at the time.
I mean, Attack of the Clones was the first film made, first blockbuster film made completely with digital cameras, which paves the way for what we're doing here. I mean, we're shooting with digital cameras, and this was unheard of at the time, to be able to do something like this. Tales from Tashi Station. Konnor, your mic's on fire.
Seth, what do you think about this? Konnor's got a lot of fanboys, huh?
Yeah.
Usually. It's usually Seth who's got the fanboys. This is nice.
He's the smart one. I'm the pretty one. That's all it is.
That's why I love Seth.
Oh, yeah. Quinlan here. Don't forget Indiana Jones as well. Absolutely.
Yeah. Of course.
Dude, and that's Indiana Jones is my other love.
Stevie Boy.
Yep. And that was George's another one of his brainchilds right there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right, Seth, what do you got? Hit me.
Well,
hot take.
What are we doing? Do you guys want to stay?
Let's get in the heat. Come on.
You want to go to the lowest iceberg?
Let's get in the heat.
You want to go to the bottom?
Let's get in the mud.
Okay. Fine. Okay. I think Maul is easily the worst of Palpatine's apprentices, and it's not even close.
I mean, I'll start on this one.
Even bringing him back.
Even bringing him back,
it doesn't help.
Like completely from the framing as a Sith apprentice, I think you're spot on.
Well, even look at him as a character. Look at him as a character. Yeah, even.
No, I love Darth Maul's like one of my number 2 bad guys.
Number 2 bad guy. But is Vader better than him?
Yes, of course. I mean, that's why he's number 2.
What about Darth Tyrannus?
And that Count Dooku only got interesting with Tales of the Jedi when we actually got to see how screwed he was by Mace Windu and the other idiots on the council. I love Maul, man. I love him.
That's fine. It's my hot take. I don't know. I just think that
I know. Hey, yeah, I do agree. Like from a Sith,
I think he's like the rule of cool incarnate. Like he looks cool, he fights cool, but then like I think he's only got 2 really good scenes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, to piggyback off, this is going to be my question, what Mortis just said.
Okay. What?
So he says, as an apprentice, sure, but as a character. So as a character, you think he's the worst still. Like comparing the three.
Yeah.
Anakin, Dooku, and Maul. He's the worst character.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, I'm digging.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're wrong, but that's
fine. You can think I'm wrong. It's my hot take. It's okay. But I think that, cool. He shows up. He gets manipulated. He gets cut in half. He hides for a while. He gets his brother. Then they build a criminal empire, and then they get beat up.
Over Mandalore?
Hold on. They get beat up, disappear again. He somehow gets back to Mandalore, gets beat up again, and then, somehow ends up with he's got a criminal empire. We see that for like a second again. Then shows up somehow in a Sith temple, then leaves again, and then dies.
I think what we're only talking about here is if Maul is better than Dooku or not, because there's no question that Vader is the best out of all.
Oh no, Vader is the best one, but I'm thinking I like Count Dooku better than I like Darth Maul. Christopher Lee, man. Saruman. Fallen Jedi. We're reading Plagueis right now. It's cool.
The 90-year-old lightsaber twirler.
Doesn't matter. He's one with the Force, and the Force is with him.
I can't buy into that, Seth.
It's cool. Whatever. It's fine. There you go. You want to go to the bottom of the iceberg. We're at.
I pulled this guy out.
I live.
I pulled this guy out because
right on screen, my friends. Check that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Maul for life.
A Maul skull.
That's sick.
Maul for life.
I think that the Siege of Mandalore arc makes Maul. He was already compelling.
Hey, that's one of the good scenes I like. When he's sitting on the throne and she comes in to talk to him. That's a good Maul scene.
He knew everything. Like he's smarter than the Jedi. He knew Palpatine's plot before they did.
That's what's most compelling to me is like he figured it out and was so tortured by the information.
Good Maul scene.
And he's like,
yeah.
But Dooku, I think that Dooku is just a means to an end. Yeah, Tales from the Jedi makes his fall really interesting, but I think he's a fine villain in Clone Wars, but he's kind of the least interesting villain in Clone Wars, in my opinion.
To me, at least live action, Dooku was like a mwahahaha type of villain.
Mm-hmm.
We can get
lower.
With all things prequels, everything gets better in the Clone Wars cartoon.
Yeah.
Well,
it's all right.
Is that what we're going with, Matt? Is that the next hot take?
Tease.
All right.
It's not my turn, Konnor. It's not my turn.
That's true. All right, fine. I'll go next. Okay. This one is, I know this one's going to get some heat. This is because every time I say this, I get comments every single time.
All right.
I'm going to say it with my whole chest right into the camera. You looking right here? You know what? Hold on. I think TROS is kind of fun. Okay? And that seems like such an innocuous statement, but I get so much heat for this one. I'm not saying it's a good movie.
This is happy him. This isn't awkward.
I know, but I know Matt hates this movie.
It's a movie that used Fortnite to introduce.
Dude, I know, and that's my issue. I will never forgive that movie. You ever
played Fortnite, Matt?
I will never.
No, I'm an old guy that screams at clouds. Damn it!
I will never forgive that movie for that. That blows my mind. I think that's a Family Guy sketch.
Know what we're talking about? They literally did the Palpatine reveal in Fortnite as like an event.
Yeah, I know.
Wild.
And then all you get in the movie is the crawl, and then that
references Fortnite.
Yeah.
Rather than Fortnite referencing Star Wars references Fortnite. It is unbelievable. I will never.
Hey, you want to hear even more of a crime? Did you know that Fortnite has a more accurate Sith Trooper outfit than Battlefront 2?
Does it?
It does.
That's interesting. But look, when it comes to TROS,
great opening.
When we were doing every time I do reels, okay, I go and I have to hunt down clips. And I'll find myself just watching stuff. And I was hunting down some stuff for TROS the other day. The whole first 5 minutes of that movie, fire.
I'd give it 10 minutes.
Okay, sure. I don't know how long that section is.
Yeah, it's up until she's moving the rocks. Yeah. Like, yeah, when like up until
and I
then,
even kind of like that.
Yeah, it's fine. I take it back. It's when they land the ship and they start arguing that I was like, some of that arguing is fun.
Yeah, that's cool. And then I like
Konnor when he was on my show. It's good until the gang gets back together, which everyone wanted, and it kind of sucked in the end.
Yeah,
it's like once Rey, Finn, Poe, like we want all here, and then the movie just became lackluster, not interesting. Rey Palpatine.
I just think, and look, I hate how Palpatine returns. I think in concept it's fine. They could have made it work, but I hate how it happens. But if we just accept that it happens in the movie, which you kind of have to watch the movie, Ian has some of the best moments.
He's spooky.
That line, I've said it a million times. The Jedi, you're dead. Man, that's one of my favorite Palpatine lines. I just love the way he delivers it.
Yeah.
And the Kijimi fight when they're fighting through the Force. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's a good concept.
It's really cool. And then
I love watching Adam Driver just walk around places, just like spooky places.
The Ben Solo stuff is fun.
Yeah.
The training sequence with Leia and Luke.
Good scene.
I even like
uncanny Leia and Luke.
We're forgetting the best character too was in TROS. Babu Frick.
Babu.
Yeah, my oldest friend. Like, I mean,
hey, look, Tales from Tashi. I don't disagree. I'm just saying, like, we have to accept
give credit where credit's due.
That the sequels are what they are.
Yeah.
And I think that TROS is kind of fun. There are moments in it that are kind of fun. Now, in my perfect world, do I wish that they would have just continued the threads that TLJ started as much as I dislike that movie? Yes. I think it was pretty cowardly to go back on basically everything that happened in TLJ. But we got what we got. And I'm going to just enjoy what I can out of it. And I think that there's fun stuff to be had.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a lot in this one. I was
going to say, what about the Han and Ben scene? That's great.
It is great.
That is so good. It is great. Yes.
And I'll say it. I don't think the Rey Skywalker thing's that bad.
Oh, at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Matt?
The thing that just kills it for me is the Rey Palpatine stuff. Like, just
I hate that.
Be a nobody or like, we were postulating on our show, and even before TLJ came out, we were like, it'd be kind of cool if Ben and Rey were related, and I would have, I kind of would have preferred that angle if we had to assign her to a royal Force family, like. For some reason, we have to do that now. It's not like Yoda, Mace Windu, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Dooku. Right. They were all pretty strong in the Force, and they weren't a Skywalker or a Palpatine. So why do we have to make Rey a Palpatine?
Yeah. Okay? I think
it's just cheesy. When he shows up, you're a Palpatine. It's like, what the hell are
And
we
you can tell
here?
that was, the story about how they were recording some of Adam Driver's lines, like when he was in a closet during the late night shows.
Yeah,
I think that's the one that they recorded because according to Daisy, they were still
trying to figure
coming up with that right up until the last minute.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like
I really dislike that.
You don't like Ben's redemption?
Ben was never supposed to be redeemed.
Yeah,
Adam
you could tell.
Himself came out, and he's like that wasn't the true ending.
Hey, see you later, Alan. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Okay, we got to read some of these because this stirred the community here. I knew it would. TROS was fun for me too. Alistair Boswell, TLJ is so much better than TROS.
Yeah.
I think as a movie, maybe. I just can't get behind Ryan.
How about this? Maybe as a movie, but as a Star Wars movie.
It seems like such a I know.
I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe that makes you feel better. I'm just trying to help.
And the Rise of Skywalker has cool pieces, but the overall story is a coherent mess. Yes. Here's the thing about Rise of Skywalker at the end of the day. If you gave me an outline of everything that happened in this movie, other than Rey Palpatine, I'd be like, okay, I guess I'm down. Like if you just gave me a bullet point outline, I'd be like, all right, yeah, Palpatine.
Would you do a little bit with somehow Palpatine's returned at least, please? If you're going to read
that's what I'm saying is like if you gave me like, okay, Palpatine's returning, I would expect reading the outline that there would be some explanation.
What if there was like a voice in the sky and someone was hitting the gritty? Palpatine is speaking.
I love this from Tales from Tashi Station. No, it's a disaster. I'll take the Christmas special over it.
Wow.
Would you though?
No.
Have you ever really watched that?
Don't lie.
That's hardcore, man. That's hardcore.
That's a true fan.
TROS was fun. The Palpatine plot was a mess. Yeah.
He's just rolling
with
with
fan
punches.
service. I don't think it's fan service. I think it was just like, oh, everybody hated TLJ. How can we go back on that so that people won't hate us and we can make the money back? I don't know why JJ went in this crazy direction without it being
TROS
set up.
Was TROS was the lowest grossing of the movies, I believe.
Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of a weird animal. That'd be a fun topic someday just to dive in onto the sequel.
We should do a watch party.
Yeah. There are things that I do enjoy, but like I said, with
young
TROS,
Nick said, one of his favorite parts is when the fleet shows up, and I still credit that because they tune up the John Williams like you get one of those things. You get Wedge pops in there.
Yeah. No,
after he said he wasn't going to be in it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what would have made? Here's another small thing about that movie that would have made that so much better. TLJ ends with like, oh, Luke sacrificed himself to be a rallying cry for the galaxy. I would have loved when the fleet shows up if people would yell like, for Skywalker, for the galaxy, for the rebellion, just something little like that. You know what I mean? All right, hit me, Matt. I got people upset with that one. So,
all right, whatever I did, Cole Cohen, you got it.
Thanks, Matt.
Not quite. Okay. All right, I'll throw this one out there. Clone Wars Anakin, as in the animated series Anakin, is better than live action Anakin. Eat it.
Oh, here we go.
Let's go.
Well, back up your point.
Think?
Let's hear it.
Well, I mean, it's a bit of an unfair comparison considering how much screen time animated Anakin gets compared to live action Anakin. But, over the 7 seasons, you can see this character and how he constantly has to balance his dark and light. All right. We get to see the Anakin that I always envisioned in the prequels, where he's constantly struggling with the pull to the dark, not being trained till he's 10, losing his mother, having dreams about his lover that he shouldn't have. We get to see what that does to a Jedi in the Clone Wars animated series. I mean, there's one arc. He's almost killing this Clovis character because he's a former boyfriend of Padme. He does all sorts of dark leaning actions in the Clone Wars. And, to me, someone older guy, right, the Cloud Yeller, I found it really helped to supplement the live action Anakin and has kind of made a full circle for me on everything. So when you add in animated Anakin, the real Anakin, with live action kind of horribly acted Anakin, still love you, Hayden, you get the Anakin I was hoping we would have got in the prequels. So like I said, it's a little cheating because he gets more time, a lot more screen time, but I could really see Anakin struggle with what George was telling us he was going to struggle with way back when. Thank you.
You go first.
I mean, Dave has the ability of, he's got hindsight though, that he could go back and, build around that. I mean, it's kind of unfair that, it's kind of silly. Like George wants to, like George starts the Clone Wars in one episode, and then in the next episode, he ends the Clone Wars. We never really do get to see that, like, that transition that you're talking about. So I do feel like that is kind of difficult where you've got, 3 years of character development, but we just don't get to see it. So I can kind of see where you're coming from, but I don't know. I feel like Genndy did it better than Dave.
Who did?
Genndy Tartakovsky. The original Clone Wars.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm with you, Seth. I love Gennedy's.
This is the
but
guys.
That guy, he's also very edgy, right? I mean, I don't know. I didn't feel like live action Anakin was edgy until Attack of the Clones. Hold on a second.
Something's happening.
We got the bad take police here, guys.
Oh no!
Is all I'm saying.
Officer, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm going to jail.
You're a dork.
That took way too long to do, and it was not fluid. So my bad. But
oh no, he's thumb down.
Down with the rain. Boys.
Look at that.
Yeah. So
I got my own effects over here.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I kind of agree with Seth. I think that if you need that fleshed out, I think Genndy does it better because less is more. I think that having the one scene that you get basically of Anakin struggling with the dark side. Yeah, you get the I guess his moment in the cave, and then
he fights Asajj.
And then the moment where he fights
his fight
Asajj.
with Asajj, that guy is tuned up on the dark side. I mean,
exactly. Awesome. That's what you need, and then he learns from it.
But I don't think that what I don't get about this argument, which I've heard you make, and I've heard a lot of other people make, I don't see this as a different character than who we see in the live action.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm not trying to separate the two. I like Anakin animated better than live action. How's that?
Now,
but
what?
Nothing. You're thinking what?
The Ahsoka, the return of Anakin. That's my guy. That's the Anakin I wanted to see. That guy there. Hayden's knocked it out of the park. Dave must be a better director than George, at least with humans. I do feel like we finally got the Anakin Skywalker, Lord Vader, that I was at least anticipating in the prequels in Ahsoka Episode 5. That's the guy right there.
That's fair. For me, I don't think you need Clone Wars. I think it's great. Obviously, I think it's one of my favorite Star Wars projects.
You can't tell me what I need. I need Clone Wars.
Sorry, I mean generally speaking, not you specifically. I just don't think that I don't need Clone Wars to see that turn, and for Anakin. So I like that we get sort of his angsty, emotional side in Attack of the Clones, and then it kind of turns into the more angry side in Revenge of the Sith. But I think George was trying to go.
That's my problem. I thought he was angrier in Attack of the Clones than he was in Sith. In Sith, I feel like he's nice and balanced, and he's like, screw it, I'm going to join the Sith. Why not?
So I've always viewed it as like, I think that he's at the beginning. He's definitely like, he's the hero of the Clone Wars. He's on his path, but he's just getting undermined at every point in the story. And I think that's conveyed. Yeah, Mace Windu sucks. But it's just, I think it's conveyed.
Can we agree Mace Windu's the real reason Anakin's turned to the dark side?
Yeah.
He definitely didn't help.
That's true.
Yeah.
Screw the dreams and the promises of necromancy. It was Mace Windu just being a complete jerk. He did the same thing to Count Dooku.
I mean, Mace is one of the.
I hate Mace Windu. There's a hot take.
I do too, but I think you're meant to hate him. So that's what I like about him.
I love my man Sammy J, but Mace Windu is a jerk.
Yeah, he sucks.
And he forced George to use purple lightsabers. Like, George, stick to your guns, bro. Come on.
Okay, here. What do you think about Rich Castro's comment here? Hayden had skills with the lightsabers, the best to ever do it, even coming back.
I mean, look what he did in Ahsoka again. If anyone's been watching those behind the scenes where he's stunt training with Greenblatt and the other doubles and actors, the dude is a tank. I mean, he's a beast.
Yeah, I mean, he was even a tank back in 05.
It's true. Mountain of human being.
It was years ago now, but Nick and we interviewed Nick Gillard, and he
I remember.
was like, listen, man, he's like, listen, Hayden and Ewan are essentially sword masters at this point in time. So.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's riding a bike because it didn't seem like Hayden lost any steps.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about it last week that I think Hayden has earned himself a spot as like one of the best cinematic sword masters ever.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's no hot take.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, by the way, if you guys are interested in that interview with from the Star Wars Time Show with Nick Gillard, you guys were the first, right?
Yeah. No, we had him before Star Wars Theory. He explained all the stuff that Theory got tons of traction for.
I know. I remember that.
That's just kind of our lot in life, buddy.
They were the first.
Content, the algorithms does not deliver it to the eyes and ears of the people.
Well, go watch their interview with Nick Gillard. It's really good. I remember when you guys dropped that.
He is off. I love that guy. Like, even offline, he is just a cool dude. Unfortunately, I think he burnt a lot of bridges in Hollywood. Why you don't necessarily see him anymore on big projects, but
yeah,
he's awesome.
Well, I think would it be fair to say that you guys were what got him back into the Star Wars community, because he didn't do interviews.
I would say so.
And he started.
He hates. Exactly. He hates doing interviews. He came on. He's like, listen, I'm not a big fan of this. But once we got going, he's like, I like you guys. And he's like,
I remember him saying that you could see a turn in him during the interview. And then after that, he went on Theory. He went on a bunch of other guys. But you guys were the first. So that was impressive. How did you guys even score that?
He came on our show. He talked about the real high ground and how that wasn't supposed to happen. I don't know if anyone knows the real story, but essentially, Anakin had Obi-Wan dead to rights, essentially in a Force grip, Vader style. And what Obi-Wan did, he would call either his lightsaber, Anakin's lightsaber with the Force, and in one move, legs get chopped as it's pulling through on the Force, and then he comes through and gets his arm. That's what it was supposed to be, not, I have the high ground, Anakin.
Well, yeah.
George cut a lot of stuff that Nick produced, and it's a bummer because he even told us like Padme was supposed to get really roughed up from Anakin, like smashed into the side of the ship. I mean, where you almost think she's dead.
So how'd you guys score that?
Big fight on the opening fight with the Magna Guards, that was supposed to be like a whole extended scene, and that all gets clipped. So Yoda wasn't supposed to fight Dooku either. That was literally on the set. George was like, hey, I think we should have Yoda do this now. And Nick's like, huh?
Wow. Okay.
One I don't remember. I didn't remember from the interview.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nick made it sound like George, he was pretty loosey-goosey on set, and whatever came across his mind, he's like, yeah, we're going to do this today instead of what's on the call sheet in the script.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, thank you. Thanks for the plug. But yeah, it's old. You just search the channel, Star Wars Time Show.
Yeah, Star Wars Time Show, Nick Gillard.
Content.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, that's fantastic.
How'd you manage to score that?
Yeah, how'd you get the interview with him?
We another guy, maybe some of you may know him from he used to be in toy photography, but Baron's Black series. He kind of volunteered to come on and be our PR person a few years ago, and he actually has the Barriss Offee voice actor lined up for us. I just need to get to him and get a date scheduled. So cool. We've benefited from some fan help, and Spencer, I don't know where he got all these contacts, but I mean, we talked to a few guys that worked on like behind the scenes on the movie, some on Solo. It was pretty fun, but interviews have died off for a bit.
Yeah. Okay. I remember Silas.
Yep. Newt Gunray and Ki-Adi-Mundi was on the show. He was our first ever guest. Yeah, he was awesome too. Real cool guy. He was very very gracious with his time. So
yeah, that's awesome.
What's it, Vince? I forget his name. It's Vince something, but he worked on Solo and Rogue One. There's another dude that worked on Attack of the Clones. You never know. Maybe we'll get back to it. Like I said, probably should take him up on the Barriss Offee.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, go subscribe to Star Wars Time Show. So when they drop the Barriss Offee thing,
I'll try to be on my best behavior on my own channel. Like, see, I bet you guys didn't think I could do it. I think I've only said hell. That's pretty good.
Hey, you know what? I actually haven't noted that. Good. That's a great job.
He's been doing really well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone. I do understand why people kind of shy away from me. I think people are scared and think I'm like this crazy troll that just screams and yells at his fans all the time. I'm into this stuff. I have a lot of passion for Star Wars, and sometimes I get a little worked up on my opinions, and I might have to browbeat some people every once in a while, but it's all in fun.
Hey, a bat says you're being good, Matt.
Oh, they know. Yeah, I saw a few of my diehards came over, so I got Bat 2797 and League and Mando Pirate. Appreciate you coming watching the old guy here with the young studs. So thank you.
All right, Seth, you're up, buddy.
Where do we want to go?
We're going deep. We're getting in the mud. I feel like we haven't gotten too deep in the mud.
We're in the mud. Well, I really made everybody mad with the last one. That's the whole thing. I prefer the Sith as hiding in the shadows rather than being an army or warriors.
That's not a hot take.
What are you talking about, dude? That means I'm getting rid of Revan. I'm getting rid of all the greats. I'm saying that I like them just hiding and like Sith sorcery and stuff. I don't want them
in
to
general, you mean? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think that
like anything pre-Bane then?
Like Bane's my boy. And then after that, I liked it a lot more. I think it's dumb.
Like rules.
Yes.
You like rules.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do like the rule of two. And yeah, anything after that, I don't really care for anything before that. That I'm just like, this is so silly. Like just armies of people running at each other with lightsabers. I'm like, that's silly. I know. That ain't for me. Like Old Republic, like that one, the Deceived trailer where they wreck the ship into the temple, and then all those guys come pouring out. That I'm just like,
Malgus, right?
Yeah, I'm no. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Just get on out. Yeah.
Here he is. Look at that. Look at this guy. I will admit, Malgus is up there with cool looking Sith. He's very imposing, almost a Vader Hawking type of figure. I still like Vader better, but I do love this Malgus figure.
Is he cooler than Darth Maul?
Oh man, no, because I have like 4 or 5 Darth Maul hot toys, so
okay,
just based on monetary expenses. But
okay, gotcha.
He's up there. He's up there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really have a horse in that race because
I don't care.
Well, I mean, I agree with you. I just don't have. I don't really know those other characters enough to say anything.
Here's my take. I think the out and about Sith looked way cooler than the hiding Sith. How's that?
Oh, you like your Sith with
Revan. Come on, Revan looks awesome.
You like all the
Sith
with their bells and whistles.
Yeah, Malgus looks great.
Yeah.
Darth Bane, I mean, he looks like a damn robot, doesn't he?
No, he's like
at least based on the Clone Wars.
Oh yeah, they made him look like a samurai or something like that. No, I just think of him as he looks kind of like The Rock with yellow eyes. And then
see you later, Tales from Tashi Station. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Take care.
Tia says Rule of 2 is so lame. Sorry, Seth.
Hey, we'll talk it out later.
But he's right. I mean, he's technically right, because Rule of 2 is what allowed Palpatine to finally do what no other Sith could do.
Yeah, I know, and it's legit. I'm all about it. I'm all about them hiding in the corner with their sorcery and making plans and stuff like that, rather than just like, oh, we're gonna just go fight those guys over there with our lightsabers.
He was back, dude. He hid in the open. I mean,
I know.
Palpatine is the greatest movie villain of all time because he actually achieves his goal.
Yeah,
that's a fair point.
Yeah,
that's a fair point. I mean, I'm with Seth. I don't think that's that hot of a take.
Okay, all right. I thought it was going to be crazy. I don't know. Apparently, some people don't like it, but yeah.
Let's see. Well, Mortis is the only one who disagrees. So I love the Rule of 2, but I also love seeing epic Sith Lords. But Plagueis is my dude.
Yeah.
Well, apparently you're wrong, Mortis. So, all right, I'm up. I got to go back to my well here. So I'm about run. I was the only good one who stuck to the rule and prepared 5.
Sling you a few. I've got like 10 that aren't even on my to talk about list.
Okay, here's one. I know this one is a.
Uh-oh.
It's okay for Star Wars to have Star Wars characters in it. Let me explain. Every time a new Star Wars property comes out and someone from Star Wars is in it, people throw a fit about it online. And it drives me insane.
Cameos?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Well, I get gratuitous cameos. I get how that's frustrating, sure. But there was a video from, I believe it's Mauler. And look, I don't watch his content. I have no idea. And I don't know about the video. Maybe it was a good video, so I'm not picking on the guy. But I've seen this video I recommended several times ever since Ahsoka aired. And it's just a screenshot of the flash of Anakin when he turns into Vader in Ahsoka. And it says, Star Wars needs to grow up. And I've seen that so many times where it's like, wow, Anakin is only in this for fan service. Star Wars fans can't grow up. They can't move past the Skywalkers and all this. I'm like, guys, that is a central character in this person's story. This title of the show is Ahsoka. And it drives me insane. And now that we're in the Mando timeline, I mean, you had a lot of talk about that with Luke. It's like, oh, here we go. Now that Luke Skywalker's in it, it's like you're telling a story between Return of the Jedi and TFA. This is a pretty big time period where these people are, I mean, you've dubbed it the Superman effect, Matt, and we've talked about it as the Skywalker problem. Like, it's just, they're there. They are the main characters of the story in this universe. I just don't see the problem with having these characters in the story. Now, if we're doing just gratuitous cameos where, like, I'll give an example. The one in Rogue One, when they're on Jeddah, and they just kind of run into Dr. Evazan and Ponda Baba. Yeah. I kind of hate that. So it's just like, it's just meant for you to go, You remember them? They're from A New Hope. How about that? But
Oh, I'm such a dork, man. I love like Easter eggs. And
No,
crap
I mean,
like
don't get me
that.
wrong. I like it too. I just said I hate it. I don't hate it. I think that kind of
you
stuff
like
is
it being
fine.
done well.
Yeah,
That's
but
not done well.
yeah,
It's silly.
it is kind of
Well,
silly.
you guys hate Rogue One anyway, so this isn't even.
No,
a
we
fair
don't. You didn't watch our video, Matt.
Rogue One's
maybe just
fine.
the trailer.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's like 2 hours long. I understand.
No, I was just saying the movie's fine.
I got
It's
like
I don't
thumbs up
hate
popping
it.
on my camera feed nonstop. I gotta hide my thumbs or something. I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, that's my hot take. I think that it's fine for Star Wars characters to show up in Star Wars properties, and we need to like settle down with that when it comes to us as a Star Wars community.
I can't argue with that, so it's coming off cool to me, bro.
Especially in the Mando timeline, because like these guys like help save the galaxy. They have to continue help being the legends that like Kylo and Rey and Finn that they all heard of.
Yeah.
If they just blew up the Death Star and then didn't do anything for 30 years.
Yeah. And you have a lot of people who say we need to get away from the Skywalker saga, and I get that. Maybe we do, but if in the time in which we are still in the Skywalker saga, I am fully expecting these characters to have an impact. Unless you're just talking about the story over there, which The Mandalorian was in season 1. It was kind of just the story over there. Fine. But if you're talking about galactic level affairs, yeah, we're going to need to see these guys.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, it was cool with you guys. Nobody's yelling at me in the chat, so maybe that wasn't that hot a take. But
it wasn't.
I do see people. I see this Discord all the time online, and I'm like, I don't understand this. So, okay. Well, hit me, Matt.
I got one that should get people riled up here.
I'm excited.
I'm not even sure I believe it, but I thought it would be a good hot take.
Then why are you saying it if you don't believe it?
I believe it 100%. Ready?
Okay.
Ready, boys? Here we go. Ahsoka Tano could beat Luke Skywalker in a duel. Boom!
When? At what point?
She
like in Ahsoka the show,
or like in her white form, and he is
in Book of Boba Fett,
his temple.
So like Book of Boba Fett, basically.
Yeah, Pat.
Yeah, she wipes the floor with him.
Okay. Well,
oh yeah.
All right.
Dude, Konnor, Luke's a lover, not a fighter. He's a martyr. He's not. Yeah. No.
Here, okay. Let me give you. Let me give a little ammo for this. The reason I truly believe this, Luke obviously probably has more potential, as we've heard from George Lucas. Some people in the universe are always going to have more potential to tap into the Force and do the magic stuff. Luke really never had proper lightsaber training. Okay, I mean he dicked around with Obi-Wan on the Falcon, and that's about it. We never really saw him train with the saber again. Ahsoka clearly was trained by Luke's dad, and we've seen many examples of how hard he trained her, specifically in Tales of the Jedi, where he essentially lets clones stun her to death until she is ready to defend herself so she can survive Order 66.
For that very situation when clones are trying
I just think pure lightsaber fighter, she is going to wipe the mat with Luke Skywalker.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. It's like, what point then are you thinking? When's Luke become Luke?
This one's tough for me because I'm like,
he can be post Return of the Jedi Luke, like even post Grogu Luke if you want. I still think Ahsoka.
No, Ahsoka still beats him, in my opinion. Yeah. No, I agree.
He can be Acto Luke channeling his body to Crate, and I think she still takes him out.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I was gonna say, I think that once we start to get into like Rise of Kylo Ren comics, Luke.
I think that the
at that point,
I think it's
she's the sister, guys.
Sister.
Right? Isn't she supposed to be at the seat of the father, as everyone has told you? Right?
Maybe, I don't know.
Sister embodied her. Morai.
Maybe.
This one's tough for me, guys. I don't know because I agree. You guys got me on lightsaber for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Does Luke have prep time?
What does that mean? He's not Batman.
Prep time.
Yeah.
No, a montage of him getting ready and doing like some
yeah. I'm kidding. No.
We saw him train in the woods with Grogu. That's his lightsaber form. It's nothing which he can do. I mean, come on.
I'm going to go with it. I'm okay.
I think you're probably right.
I'm okay with this.
I think you're probably right.
I'm okay with this.
But I do think once you get to like Rise of Kylo Ren comics, Luke,
when he's a little older. Yeah, definitely.
And not because I think he's more skilled with the lightsaber. I think his force skill.
I think that no, because he's been collecting artifacts and stuff like that. He now has his knowledge is there.
Because at that point, the way we don't have much to know how he fights at that point, but we have a little bit just from TLJ and also from the Rise of Kylo Ren.
Ass down to the ground.
Yeah, but he wasn't trying.
He wasn't trying.
He didn't even have a lightsaber. He had a stick.
He was picking on a geriatric. It wasn't nice, but
yeah.
No, I agree. I think force-wise, like the magic stuff, it's not even close, but it's the same with the sabers for Ahsoka.
I'm just saying, I wonder if we get to the point, like if they really had to go to blows at that point, like let's say that's
when they're
45 years old, like let's say,
yeah,
and they have to fight. I think Luke doesn't even really fight that much with the saber. He's doing more, not quite to the extent that Darth Vader does to Reva in Obi-Wan, but that's kind of the style I imagine Luke would be fighting with, a little bit more.
I'm with you.
More forceful.
Mm-hmm. So he's no Ezra out there.
Yeah, he's
gotcha. Okay.
All right, that one was. Yeah, you got my wheels turning on that one. I like that.
Fail.
No, I like that one. You got my wheels turning on that one. Got a lot of people agreed with you here.
Well, therefore, it's not a hot take.
That's true. That's true. Man, we haven't really gotten get in the weeds, Seth. Let's go.
All right.
Give me something on the level of you hate Qui-Gon, because that really gets people in a bunch.
This is it. This is what the people wanted.
All right, let's get it. Yeah, down to our hottest one.
I prefer most of the changes in the special edition.
Oh!
I think that, especially when watching them all together.
Where's the police?
Hold on. Hold on. I haven't gotten a chance to finish. You haven't even let me finish.
Sorry, you're right. Sorry,
okay,
sorry.
I think when watching all 6 movies together, those changes in special edition help, like, go from, because I think you watch them 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. I think it helps with that jump. With adding the CGI and stuff like that to going to something where there's a lot more CGI. So, but I like, there's very few of the changes that bother me.
It's funny you bring this up, Seth, because Nick and I just dedicated a full show to essentially highlighting how crappy these special edition edits are. We went one by one and essentially ranked them. And I listen. It's a product of my generation. Those are my movies. I saw them as they were, and it was cool when the special editions came out because I got to go back to this theater.
Yeah, and that was when I. Like, yeah, I'd watched them on TV, but my first theater experience was the special editions. Like, I went to Pizza Hut. I got the posters. I had Wicked on my wall.
I'll tell you what. I mean, honestly, the ones that hurt me the most are the ones in the best movie. I mean, what he did in Return of the Jedi with the Vader no and then killing Ewok celebration for victory celebration.
Oh, man.
That's too egregious for me.
No, I'm sorry, dude. Yub Nub's got to go.
Dude!
Sorry. I like John Williams.
Yub Nub.
Nope. Get out.
Nope.
Nope.
Icho yakakapi.
Nope.
Boo boo ba. Yada yada yada. Eat your cockadoo. Yub Nub. Come on.
I'm loving this.
Everything. The whole scene was shot.
Hey, pull up KDO.
It still is. I mean, they're beating to the beat on the drums, on the helmets. They're dancing, having a good time.
Yeah. So
KDO, you're on drugs.
Did that? No. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Oh,
MortisFM, you've been drinking too much.
Nah, I think
on the spice.
It's all you young kids. You don't understand. Yub Nub is life. Read the translation. The whole song's essentially like, "We win. Life is good again. Peace to the Ewoks."
But isn't it neat to see all of the galaxy? Isn't it neat to see all the galaxy celebrating everything rather than just the Ewoks doing their thing?
No, because it was a localized celebration. We don't care about the other galaxies.
We don't care about what's going on Coruscant.
It was the Battle of Endor. There was no fighting on Coruscant.
We don't care about Tatooine?
No.
We don't care about Naboo?
Tatooine. No.
We don't care. Okay.
Naboo
what are your thoughts?
Didn't exist in Naboo didn't
except that it does now. That's the whole thing. Is it helps with the overarching story. I'll give you this.
It looks like crap.
What looks like crap?
The tour around the galaxy during
it looks great. You get to see Bespin. It's awesome.
Awful.
Okay, fine.
I want everyone to go read the translation of Yub Nub and tell me that that's not the perfect song for the Battle of Endor victory celebration. Come on.
Okay, fine. What are your thoughts then? What are your thoughts? Okay. What are the other things you hate about Return of the Jedi?
The Vader, no. I mean,
okay, all right, I'll give you that. I remember when she was my girlfriend at the time, but my wife, like, she told me that we were sitting on break at work, and she was just like, "Hey, there's a like, they added a no to Darth Vader." And I go, "Yeah, he says it when, like, in episode 3." And then she goes, "No, they put it in Return of the Jedi." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then I remember her pulling it up, and I'm just like, "Oh, well, that's not my favorite change."
Well, Seth, I'm not sure if you know this. That wasn't even a 97 edit.
I know, it was a Blu-ray. Blu-rays. Yeah, it was just a Blu-ray. And I it's his art. He could change it.
I think it cheapens the moment. We know Vader is like going, what am I doing? Why am I doing this to my son?
It's Mace Windu.
We don't need him, even with a mask. We don't need him to let us know that he's upset.
Yeah. I don't really have a huge horse in this race. I think the A New Hope special edition changes are by far the worst.
Yeah, McClunky, Jabba the Hutt, stepping on his tail.
You don't like Jabba the Hutt?
He has to step on his tail because it was a man.
Wait, do you like Jabba the Hutt's inclusion in A New Hope?
I mean, doesn't it help with the overarching?
No.
Why? Breaking the fourth
I think it's horrible.
Why?
I think that's returns after being shot 2 seconds earlier.
I think that's arguably the worst special edition change because
that's worse than no.
Yeah, because I mean, the no.
That's worse than Han shooting, not shooting first.
Seth. No is worse because no tarnishes Vader's moment. That's sacrilegious.
What about Greedo shooting first?
I don't like the no thing, but
Greedo. I hate that Greedo shooting first crap too. Han shot first. I have the T-shirt. George Lucas himself wore.
Yeah, that's annoying too. But I think that the Jabba the Hutt scene, first of all, it spoils the Jabba the Hutt scene later in Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
It also cheapens the reveal of the Falcon because you get the reveal of the Falcon.
The worst part.
You get the big reveal of the Falcon later in the movie.
What a piece of junk!
Yeah,
exactly.
That's great.
That gets ruined.
And that's ultimately the callback in TFA.
Yeah,
which is great. It's one of my favorite moments in the whole sequel trilogy.
Yeah, I like Jabba.
I think that scene's terrible.
Okay, agree, disagree.
I think the special editions in Empire are
they didn't do anything to that one.
Well, they
did cosmetic stuff,
except for the Wampa change.
Yes, I told you about the Wampa.
Yeah,
yes.
I don't like that one.
Yeah, they fixed the Wampa. You're right, and we get the arm slice.
Yeah, and of course the addition of Ian McDermott is great.
Yes,
I agree. Return of the Jedi
that's a good hologram.
You didn't like
instead
the
of
guy
a
with
junky hologram. What?
You know, the original Emperor was just some dude, and they used monkey eyeballs.
It was a woman.
Right?
Yeah, yes. I thought it was a girl, and then they had monkey eyes.
Yeah, it was a woman with a. I forget. It was wasn't it somebody on the crew's wife, right?
I don't know.
Man, what an insult to her. Like, hey, you want to play the Emperor? We're going to put monkey eyes on you.
Jam these goofy looking yellow eyes in there.
Yeah.
And then the Return of the Jedi ones,
Jedi. I mean, Jabba's Palace.
I was about to say Jedi rocks, man.
That crappy song.
I love
Fett's flirting.
Jedi rocks.
Flirting with people.
Why is he not flirting with people? Have you read Tales from Jabba's Palace?
I was gonna say I like that part.
Dude, he's getting girls. He's got girls in his dreams. Come on, guys.
I gotta say, Jedi Rocks is the hardest thing for me to sit through in the entire saga.
What's wrong?
Okay, maybe not the entire saga, but the original trilogy.
She did just fine.
She was there.
Noodles, that's all we need.
They are there. They're singing.
She sings in the original version, not that idiot.
Yeah, but
no
she
way,
sings too.
Mortis, you're saying that ironically.
Hey,
there's no way.
Thank you, man.
There's no way you really. Do you actually like Jedi Rocks?
I do like Jedi Rocks. What's wrong with it? It's awesome.
I do not like.
It's awesome.
I'm
What's
with Matt.
with you guys?
I'm with Matt on this one.
Whatever. Okay.
I'm torn on the issue overall about the special edition stuff.
Yeah.
But on Jedi Rocks, it's one of my least favorite things in the original trilogy. Yeah, see, I'm with KDO. Jedi Rocks is the worst thing in all of Star Wars, but it also kind of makes it the best.
It's awesome. Whatever.
Wow, this one was heat.
Okay.
Huh?
There you go. Well, there you go. We're at the
you killed it there, bro.
Thanks.
Fantastic.
We got the heat. All right.
Yeah.
So we're getting into
No,
I'll give my hottest, and then we'll get into Matt's hottest. I think it's the shot. I think it's the shot of the weird alien where her like
playing the harmonica.
No, with like the really long mouth where she like yells into the camera. It cringes me out. I can't stand it. I hate it.
Psy is the best. It should have stayed Lapty Neck.
No, I want Max Rebo. I want Max Rebo.
That's the other thing, Seth. When you bring in that bozo singing Jedi Rocks, he takes away. It's Max's band. This guy comes in. He's stealing the show.
He's just the front man. Max is being cool.
See,
he's doing his thing.
Alistair knows what's up. Thanks, Al.
Sure, Al.
We finally have some sanity in the chat now.
I guess so.
All right.
My goodness.
My hot take, which I know is not a super hot take. It's just going to be hot with present company. Revenge of the Sith is the best Star Wars movie, hands down. It's not even close. Actually, it is a little close. I mean, it's a little close, but it's the best movie. It is everything George Lucas was trying to do with Star Wars. It's the only thing. It has everything that George was trying to do with visual effects, with technology, with the story. I think it's a perfect finale to the story.
It's a real conversation.
Yeah, I think it's the perfect finale to the story. I think if you watch it 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, it builds perfectly to this movie.
Is that how you guys do it now? By the way, sorry to cut you off, but you still go non-chronological.
I prefer it non-chronological. Yes, I prefer it release order because every movie, like I think it's because I'm a filmmaking nerd and I like every movie and every property that was made next builds in some way off the last, even if it chronologically is before it. So you get references in the prequels, like you get the Millennium Falcon, that little Easter egg in Revenge of the Sith. That's fun, like stuff like that. I think it's a better experience in that way. But just as a movie, though, I think ROTS is the. I think it's king. I think it's firing on every single cylinder, and it's George's master thesis. It's the movie, and I think the only other acceptable answer for best Star Wars movie is Empire Strikes Back.
I think you're wrong.
Now, hold on. I will add one more thing.
I think you're wrong.
ROTS is the best Star Wars movie, but I think A New Hope is the best movie in Star Wars.
This guy's slinging a lot of hyperbole here.
Yeah.
No, it's not hyperbole. That's my opinion.
Okay,
all right.
Seth, I want to hear your take first because Konnor knows where I'm at, and I'm not going to get in the weeds, but I do want to hear. I mean, a fellow Return of the Jedi.
I'll just set my mic out. I'll let things happen.
I mean, I guess I do agree that Revenge of the Sith is S tier, but I feel like that it's only part of the story. That's the whole thing. Is that like we need to know why Obi-Wan. It doesn't. You are correct. It doesn't have Jedi rocks, making it inferior, really.
Oh no! I was gonna say that's the only good thing about ROTS.
I don't know. But that's my whole thing with Rise of Skywalker, or not Rise of Skywalker. Sorry, Revenge of the Sith is that
How dare you?
Oh, shut up! You love that movie. You already said it. It's like your favorite. It's like you love that little art house film J.J. Abrams made.
Oh my gosh! Shut up.
But the whole thing is that Revenge of the Sith is only part of the story. I mean, we see the failure. Like Obi-Wan attacked it, being coming at it like it's like, oh no, you chose violence. Now I don't want to do this, but I got to be violent towards you. But what's the teaching tool? What's the learning point? That doesn't teach anybody anything except how to fail. What movie teaches us something? What has something that we can actually bite onto and we can have? I mean, that's Return of the Jedi. That's the yes. And I was gonna say, I mean, your weapons, you do not need them.
Mm-hmm.
I will not fight. You have failed, Your Highness. I'm a Jedi, like my father before me.
It's awesome.
So be it.
Yeah,
Jedi.
I mean, I won't deny that is probably my favorite scene in Star Wars and Return of the Jedi.
It is the Star Wars moment.
I will agree. I agree. But I think
what's Revenge of the Sith got then? If the Star Wars moment is in the movie that you're saying isn't
I'm saying as a movie and the sum of its parts, there are a lot of. I mean, we just talked about it. I mean, Return of the Jedi has Jedi rocks.
So what?
I think that the middle of the movie kind of slogs for a little bit.
It's like maybe 20 minutes.
The only
You don't like Yoda dying?
I do love that part. I love
We
the stuff
see
with
Yoda's
Yoda.
death, and he learns he has a sister. I mean, come on.
That stuff's great. Hey, I'm not taking anything away from Return of the Jedi. It is also like S tier Star Wars. I love it. But Revenge of the Sith, I don't think there's a low moment. I don't think there's a low moment in the movie.
You think it's C tier, Matt?
No, probably not C tier.
Okay, I was going to say, goodness.
What's your lowest tier?
F. It's
F, but we didn't give anything F.
Nah, I'm just kidding. But here's a hot take in my rebuttal here. Revenge of the Sith is not even the best prequel movie. We all know that's the Phantom Menace. So I definitely can't get behind this. And the reason I say that, I actually have like a 17-minute opus on YouTube about why I think the Phantom Menace is the best prequel. If you ever want to really get into this dark and goofy Star Wars brain, but I don't know, man. Like I just ROTS is never gonna resonate with me. It's gotten better over time for sure. I think Clone Wars has helped 100%.
Yeah,
but it just the acting, Anakin's turn. Sure, there's some nice scenes. I agree with you when he's crying. That's some quality stuff. But outside the opening segment, like the ship battle, getting Grievous takes way too long. I mean, the opening takes like 50 minutes. And then we're just, muddling around. Oh, woe is me. I'm Anakin. No one likes me, but I'm a good guy. And then all of a sudden he's like, you know what? Screw it. I need to save my wife. I'm killing everybody. I'm going to go kill kids. I'm going to go kill my friends. It never worked for me. And I a lot of your points you have given me, Konnor, has helped a bit, but it's too ingrained that it just did not check the boxes I need to check when I watched it as a 25-year-old.
Battles don't need spectacle to be amazing and have a deeper meaning.
I agree.
Yeah. Don't you think
Return of the Jedi?
And I was going to say, what about the fact that the finale of Return of the Jedi, we're juggling 3 different stories that are all pretty compelling.
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to
that's just 2.
Yeah. I was going to say
Return of the Jedi, just like the Phantom Menace, channels the beauty of Star Wars. When you got a ground battle, space battle, and then the wizards fighting.
Yeah.
Right. We get that in Phantom Menace too. That's the best of Star Wars. When you get ground wars, space wars, and then the Jedi Sith go at it, you can't beat it. And I'm not kidding. The Phantom Menace is my favorite prequel for multiple reasons. I think it's got the best acting. You get the introduction of Maul, who Seth hates. You get a great lightsaber battle in the Duel of the Fates, which Seth hates. But you can excuse a lot of stuff people like, oh, they're kids. Well, yeah, they're kids. They're kids playing kids. So it kind of plays very naturally. It seems a bit more organic. Jar Jar is, you say what you want, but little kids loved him. He did exactly what George intended him to do for that audience.
Jar Jar's fun. Yeah.
You got the pod race. I mean, come on. You got Anakin in his space battle doing his, his flips and his turns, and this is pod race. You get a bunch of great lines from it. Anakin is taken on as a Padawan by Obi-Wan. You get to see kind of the consternation by the council on that decision. The introduction of the Sith and all that fun stuff. I don't know. I love TPM.
I thought we were defending Revenge of the Sith, or I thought we were defending Return of the Jedi.
Look, here, I don't disagree with any of the points you're making. Yeah. I'm just saying that I think Revenge of the Sith encapsulates all of the, like you just said, you don't need spectacle in a battle. I agree. You don't. Yeah. The cool thing with Revenge of the Sith is it has both. It can do it all.
Yeah.
It has, you build to this tragedy between brother versus brother. You could have just had them fighting in a room like in Return of the Jedi with Vader versus Luke, and it would have been just as emotionally resonant. But you don't just get that. You get that plus this insanely choreographed fight scene with this insane spectacle. And it's not just about spectacle, but the spectacle helps elevate what's going on in here.
We've talked about it. It's their insides match the outside where they're fighting. Yeah, exactly.
But as a movie,
I got to point out a comment here that just proves Seth and I's point. KDO saying ROTS has the most memes hands down. If you're a memeable property, you're usually a little goofy, right? We can agree with that, can't we?
Yeah.
That do be true.
It's true.
So
a lot of memes per minute.
Yeah, a lot of memes per minute. Yeah. The
MPM is high.
Yeah, the MPM memes per minute.
Here's the rest I'll say. I'll just say I think that it has the best pacing.
Yeah.
I think as a finale, it ends with hope, because when you're watching Revenge of the Sith, unless I could see an argument if you're saying to watch
I do
them
like
in
the end because it ends.
Oh my gosh, you hush.
I'm just
We'll get back to you.
I was going to say, dude, that's harsh.
Listen, seeing Vader being constructed, yes, that's an all-time Star Wars moment. Him taking his first breath, that viewpoint of the mask coming down, that's beauty. And then it gets a little ruined with the Frankenstein. No, but yeah, I'll give you that. Gazing upon the construction of the Death Star, the birth of the twins, the delivery of the twins to their locations, all
it's so good. It's so good. And like a little moment too. And this is why I love Revenge of the Sith so much. That last shot you see of Vader and Palpatine, when Vader's got his arms crossed and Palpatine's standing next to him.
Oh man, what did I get myself into?
It's a direct mirror to the shot in Phantom Menace when you have Anakin, Padme, Obi-Wan, and then Palpatine at Qui-Gon's funeral. Because who did Palpatine eliminate to finally get to Anakin? He eliminates those two, and now he's constructed his monster while he's now constructing the Death Star. It's like little things like that are just throughout Revenge of the Sith. You have the opening that's just, a masterclass, not only in cinematography, but it gets you, it introduces you to Anakin and Obi-Wan. They are friends. Now we're hearkening back to A New Hope. He's a great pilot. He was a good friend. They've got a rapport now. Like, take Clone Wars out of the equation. This is all you need, because after Attack of the Clones, there's some animosity, or not animosity, there's some hostility between Anakin and Obi-Wan. There's some tension. Now some time has passed, and the opening Revenge of the Sith shows you that, hey, these guys, they've been battle-hardened. Now they're brothers. Now this is the guy that Obi-Wan was talking about at the beginning of A New Hope. That's the point of that scene. And then you get to Count Dooku. And that's Anakin's first trial as a Sith and his final trial as a Jedi, which is why he gets so mad that he's not granted the rank of Master. He just killed a Sith Lord. He just wiped out a major player in the Clone Wars. That's why he's so upset. And then you have the whole middle chunk in the movie where we're building up to that galactic level scale. And it's just littered with brilliant moments. Anakin and Obi-Wan telling each other goodbye, where Anakin is in the darkness. Obi-Wan is in the sun when they say goodbye to one another. It's good stuff, man. And then John Williams,
he's not wrong.
I don't think KDO liked me saying she didn't like it because of the meme. She's now clarifying that she does like.
I know KDO's on my side.
Konnor, I can't deny any of his points. ROTS as a movie is quality. My biggest beef, and maybe I've never been clear about it, I do not like how Anakin is portrayed. He's not. We're still dealing with some bad acting, both from George and Hayden.
Ooh.
Look, even before the Battle of the Heroes starts. Watch that scene as a true human, just a film critic, and you tell me that Hayden's killing it with his acting. My new empire. Oh, it's come on, man. It's a little. It just does not seem genuine. It's not a great performance, and it's really just that character. Outside of that, I can tolerate the movie, but
see, I don't know, man, because you get the moment where he is dubbed Darth Vader. I think Hayden is killing it. That what have I done? And he falls to his knees, and then got Palpatine just, soaking it in. Yeah,
like I said, man, there are moments that are great, like the one you talk about him crying.
Revenge of the Sith is the moment. That's what I'm saying. It is the moment.
No, the moment is when Luke channels the dark side, beats the piss out of his dad, and then realizes,
hey, look, I'm not going to argue that.
Going that way. I'm better than my dad. I quit. Screw you, Palpatine. I'm the best. We win. That's the moment.
That's my favorite Star Wars scene. He's my favorite Star Wars character, but I just think as a full package, I think Revenge of the Sith has everything. That's my point. That's all. So hit us, Matt, with our final hot take, and we'll move into a couple fan submissions for their hot takes.
This is fun. I could do this all day. All right. So we did our prequel stuff, and I already talked about how TPM is the best prequel and Attack of the Clones is not the worst Star Wars movie. So I'm gonna leave that away. I feel like my other one could be almost too agreeable. Let me see here. Okay, this could get people fired up, maybe.
So get me mad. That's what I'm here for.
Well, okay, here's a silly one, just because I when I wrote it, I was like, wow, I'm not funny, but it sounded funny. Slave Leia is greater than Slave 1. Ha 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 ha. Okay, here we go. Ben and Rey
No,
as a
right.
dyad are stronger than the Chosen One. How's that? Do we like that one?
Ooh.
That can get people fired up a little bit. Ben and Rey as a dyad are stronger than the Chosen One in the Force.
The dyad's so vague, though. How, like, where are you getting that?
Well,
like, what's your opinion?
The fact that Palpatine, when he discovers it, he gets kind of he gets a little chubbed up. He gets excited. He's like, oh, a dyad in the Force. Now he's like, okay, I don't need Rey. I can just suck it from you two, and I'm going to be even stronger than I was. And that's what he does. So that's kind of what I was saying.
Okay,
so you think that what if young Anakin Skywalker rolled up on him? Could he just suck the life out of him?
We all know this. I mean, young Anakin Skywalker was his subservient dog. I mean, if anyone's read the comics, all Palpatine has ever done since Anakin became Darth Vader is beat him down.
Manipulate him. Yeah.
And just, he destroys him left and right. Like, he could kill him at any second.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, okay, so let's take, Palpatine's on Mortis. He's in his machine, and he's like, I can't wait for the kids to get here. And then...
Exegol?
What? On Exegol. Sorry, my bad. Exegol. And then, somehow, some way, Revenge of the Sith Anakin rolls up on him. Before Obi-Wan's chopped him all to pieces and everything. Couldn't Palpatine just suck the life out of him, and don't you think it'd make him just as strong?
No.
Why?
Because they went to the lengths they went to establish this dyad thing as something new and special and overly powerful.
Okay.
I mean, Rey and Ben could pass objects through the Force. I never saw the Chosen One do that.
I mean, he never had needed an opportunity.
Could communicate through the Force in person. I never saw the Chosen One do that.
He didn't need to.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's clarify.
Ben could heal people. I never saw the
Let's clarify this here. Are we talking, when we talk about the Chosen One isn't someone who's necessarily powerful or anything. He's just a prophesized person.
With a high metachlorian count.
I mean...
So are we just talking specifically about Anakin?
I mean... The Chosen One is the Jesus of Star Wars, right? So we just automatically anoint him as the all-powerful.
Okay, so
if
for
the
clarification...
Chosen One isn't special, why did Palpatine want him?
I think that it's just about the power of prophecy, right? I mean, yes, Anakin is inherently powerful, but it'd be like if you prophesized that... Okay, so Anakin
had the highest midichlorian count ever recorded.
Yeah, I mean, and he ends up being the Chosen One, but imagine that, I don't know, like take Han Solo. Like, what if Han Solo was ended up being the prophesized Chosen One, and he's the one who threw Palpatine down the reactor shaft? He wouldn't be powerful, but he would have been the one to be the Chosen One, if that makes sense. It's just about prophecy.
Midichlorians to be the Chosen One.
Is that part of the Chosen One prophecy? Is about the midichlorian count?
I don't think so.
I mean, from what I always understood, the Chosen One was going to be a pretty much super duper Force user.
I always took it as just he was prophesized to destroy the Sith and bring balance to the Force.
Well, you need to be pretty powerful in the Force to do that, right?
Well,
could you? Or
I mean,
maybe somebody gets in and just... I think this is all semantics at this point. I think what we're asking is about Anakin, because he's
trying to tell me. So what you're trying to tell me?
Mortis is dropping down some knowledge here on the dyad. Why don't you read that?
Dyad in the Force was when two Force-sensitive beings had a unique Force bond that was unbreakable, that could make them one in the Force. The power of the dyad was as strong as life itself.
Two greater than one.
So what? You're telling me Rey and Ben roll up on Mustafar. Vader's sitting there. They're going to be able to take him.
Rey, we can do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Don't worry, babe. We got this. Get behind me.
The grandson and the granddaughter of his master would beat Vader.
You think that they could take him?
Okay, so we are clarifying. You think that Ben and Rey could beat
the dyad
Lord Vader?
Beat the Chosen One. The dyad could beat the Chosen One.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I think that there is an intrinsic Force power that they
Palpatine.
have.
Vader couldn't do it.
No, one of them beat Palpatine. The other one fell down a hole.
And she beats Palpatine because it's heavily implied that all of the Jedi are kind of behind her.
helping.
throwing some force
that's
energy.
like a quadrad then, right? Or a sync ad or a siete ad or what, an ocho ad.
I don't know about this one, Matt.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if you're just talking about like force energy, then I suppose, but as like,
I mean, you could maybe. I mean, I kind of want to see like the fight though, because I do like the idea of him fighting them and they're passing lightsabers between each other.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah,
that's a fun idea.
I kind of get this Captain America and Winter Soldier versus Iron Man, like they're passing the shield and stuff like that. That could be kind of cool.
I think it's a fun concept. Like, I think people overlook that with the force healing thing. That's like, oh, well, then why haven't they used force healing everywhere else? Like, well. And I know it gets a little bit muddy when
it's because
Grogu
those
does it,
novels
but
were locked up in that damn tree on Acto.
yeah. And well, also they shared a life force, so they were just kind of transferring from one another. They only had enough juice for one person to live at that point. So
it's like it's like the Titanic door thing. Only one person can sit on the door.
Isaac, a new face.
No.
I'm 90% positive George himself said that if Anakin reached his full potential, his power would be 200% to Palpatine's 100%.
Well, here's the deal. And this goes to my point why they could beat him as Vader, because and Palpatine himself has said this. Once Vader got his limbs lopped off, he essentially became less than what Palpatine was expecting. That's why he could
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about Mustafar. Like, he's sitting there, he's waiting for Obi-Wan, but instead,
that's not full potential Anakin.
I mean, it's as close as he's going to get that we can.
I can buy into what Seth's saying. I'm still saying if Ben and Rey show up on that
on that fateful day,
they take him out.
They take Vader.
All right, Star Wars. What if? Here we go.
They go further than Obi-Wan. They don't even. They don't just dismember him. They then pick his husk of a body up and throw it into the lava to make sure the job is done.
Wow,
Konnor, what do you think about that? I think that
no.
He at least kills Kylo.
You were my grandfather, Anakin. Now you will die.
You were my grandpa. I love you.
No, I'm not. I think that they have raw force energy, but I mean, they don't have enough skill.
We were talking about that too. They don't have the skill with the lightsaber
or skill in the force.
No,
I don't think that they have either. I mean, Anakin schools them both.
Rey can move a lot of rocks.
She can.
Neat.
KDO, she says, do you feel like we ever saw Rey at her full potential?
No. So that's the whole thing, though. But we got to pluck them from Rise of Skywalker, and we're plucking Vader from Revenge of the Sith, and they're fighting.
I don't even know if Rey at her full potential. I mean, she's kind of just your everyday Jedi. I mean, she doesn't have any.
She's got lightning.
No, Konnor.
She's Starkiller.
Palpatine.
Yeah, she's pretty much Starkiller, Konnor. She's
a Palpatine.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Rey. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, there's nothing about, like, when we're talking about Anakin, we're talking about, like, that Skywalker blood, that mighty Skywalker blood.
Yeah.
Okay, so catching up with the chat here before we move on to some fan questions. Vader at full potential is less than Palps. Anakin at full potential is far more powerful than the Emperor. Yeah, probably. Basically.
Vader at full potential is less than Palps. Darth Vader will become more powerful than either of us.
I think he's saying in the suit.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Because
Chosen One brings balance to the Force. Yes. Anakin took even Ahsoka to the woodshed during her vision in Ahsoka.
That's a vision.
So Rey and Ben Dragon Ball Z fusion powers would take Anakin. Sorry, not happening. I'm with you, Rich. Like Matt's on some spice here for this one.
Yeah, in the suit.
Fan.
Okay, well, hey, I've enjoyed. We've been going on for a while, but some hot takes. I did ask over on Instagram. I put up a prompt every week before the show. We don't usually do live shows, but I always put up a prompt asking you guys your opinion on the topic of the day. So I've got some hot takes from the Peanut Gallery. I'm going to pull them up here, and we can kind of riff on those for a second. At Haywood Pop says, who is this Matt guy? I don't know, Haywood Pop. It's a good question.
I get bored at night.
All right. And we have from Bryce Ewens, Darth Maul should have died in The Phantom Menace. Sounds like Seth is with you on that one.
I mean, probably, but I'm glad he came back because there were some good stories.
Two good scenes.
And
Two good scenes.
Real quick, for those of you guys. Dude, it's good.
I was going to say his death and then him sitting on the throne right before he fights Ahsoka. Those are my two favorite scenes.
Yeah. Everybody out there. Hey, him killing Satine though?
Not
finding paths.
I kind of like Kooky Maul, early Rebels in the Sith Temple too.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's channeling Yoda.
That's fun.
Yeah,
Old
exactly.
master.
Yeah, he's like Hobo Mall.
Yeah.
Hey, for those of you guys in the live stream, now's your chance. If you want to drop your hottest Star Wars take for us to read, we'll kind of
This
pick
is
those
it.
up as we're reading from the preloaded ones. Another hot take: Jar Jar Binks was hilarious from Matt66801.
Sometimes he can be
I
funny.
I think the Jar Jar hate is overblown.
Yeah.
I think he's all right.
It's just jarring for the time, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, without Jar Jar, you don't have a lot of your CGI characters you have today. I mean, he was kind of the genesis of a lot of that. Matt, are you a Jar Jar hater?
No, absolutely not.
He loves Phantom.
I've never had a problem with Jar Jar. I could see where, some people kind of accuse George of incorporating Ebonics into the Gungan race, but Jar Jar never bothered me.
Yeah, he's never been a.
It's actually a shame
issue.
if you think about it. George 100% took the feedback from the fans and essentially phased the character out over the next 2 movies.
Which is a bummer. I don't like it when any creator does that. That is a critique I have of George. Is I wish that he would have stuck to his guns.
Like, let's talk. I mean, I know we're trying to wrap up, but if you really think about it, he did turn him into the buffoon everyone thought he was by propping him up to fill Padme's Senate seat when she was out, and he's like, "Oh yeah, sure, here you can have emergency powers, go for it."
Yeah, I agree. All right, moving on. Caleb B. Marks, Solo is a fantastic Star Wars movie, gets way too much hate, and we have a follow-up to that one. Jeremy Bloor, Solo is one of the best movies Disney's produced, but it was released at the worst time. I don't think that's that hot of a take. I completely agree with that.
No, I agree too.
Yeah, Bob Iger screwed that movie on purpose for Mary Poppins sequel. I'll never forgive him for it.
Yeah, that's true. That's
no, I'm being serious because that movie
yeah.
was supposed to take the December slot, but he gave it to Mary Poppins 2 and then placed this in May, a few months after TLJ when everyone was ready to light Star Wars on fire. So.
Yep. And that's what kind of
didn't
killed
help the brand.
The Star Wars movie prospects.
100%.
No, they had a good thing going though with like saga movie, spin-off movie, saga movie, spin-off movie.
Guys,
in
we were
another
supposed
world
to get that up until 2021. The one and one, Star Wars story, Skywalker, Star Wars story, Skywalker. And that, see ya.
It's a bummer.
Yeah.
Okay. Ashton Sharrett, Leia remembering her real mother isn't a plot hole. Interesting. I also agree. I think that this is one of those things where it's like you can have your brain kind of manufactures memories. And she also is force sensitive. Let's not forget.
Yeah.
So they
could have had a connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she did get the viewpoint of coming out of the womb at least.
Yes.
And I have, in my own personal experience, I have a lot of memories that I've shared with like my mom, and she tells me like, there's no way you could remember that because that never happened. And so it's like, your mind kind of does that.
Does anyone else think it was a little creepy, that scene where that robot like has a scoop that
ooh,
we kind of know? Yeah, exactly. That's the sound I was gonna make. He's like, ooh, ah. It's like, dude, I don't think gynecologists are supposed to do that type of stuff when you're.
Here, I have a weird thing. I always wish that the 2 things. I was hoping that Naboo would have been Dagobah. And that like Naboo went into nothing. So this is like, when the movies were coming out, this was like my theories for Revenge of the Sith was that Naboo was going to get like basically just after Phantom Menace, it's just abandoned and it just becomes a swamp.
Oh.
And that's where the twins are born. And that's why you have the cave, because that's where Darth Maul fell. Anyway, I had all this headcanon for Dagobah and it didn't happen.
It's a fun fan fiction.
It didn't happen. So whatever, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, we've only got a couple left, so if anybody in the chat's got any hot takes,
there's a couple here.
We're ready for them. Yeah, we've got a couple building.
Yep.
Okay, another hot take from Reese's Pieces. Corky is a Kenobi. I don't agree with this one.
No, sorry.
I think it's fun headcanon, but
not happening.
Yeah, Kenobi wouldn't go so hard busting Anakin's chops if he was out there producing space bastards.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's true.
Matt, you did a good job. I could really tell you governed yourself on that one.
Well, that bastards within PG, I think.
You can
say I thought you were going to go a little bit more graphic with the description.
Hey, I applaud you. You kept it. You kept it on the sensitive.
Hey, real quick, Rich, can you focus on that?
Which
Connor?
one? Which one?
Rich Castro.
Which one?
My biggest upset about 789.
There we go.
That's I can get behind that 1,000%. I hate that they just Maz tease it up and then we never get the payoff.
Yeah, for our audio only guys here, my biggest upset about the 7, 8, and 9 was Maz Kanata never told us how she got Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. That's I agree. It's one of those weird J.J. Abrams mystery box things. It's like, I just don't.
I agree.
It's fine to tease it, but then you got to pay it off at some point, and it's yet to be paid off.
No, man, the mystery is more fun than the actual answer.
I guess, right?
I also agree with what Rick Darklighter's saying here about Jar Jar. You don't have to bring it up, but it's a good.
No, I'm going to bring up the hot takes as we go. Rick Darklighter says Jar Jar episodes in the Clone Wars animated series properly give us Jar Jar as a character. They're more comedic in nature, but offer levity in the heavy war themes. Man, got a little dissertation here from Rick Darklighter. I love it.
He does some big stuff in the Clone Wars, man. I mean, he brings the Gungans, I think, to help the Mon Cal, and he also defeats some virus plot on Naboo. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, I've never been a person who hates Jar Jar. I really don't. I'm indifferent towards Jar Jar, I guess, is my big thing. Okay, bringing up another preloaded one first. BC Scrubs. Do you feel like Dave Filoni is trying to reverse the damage the sequels did to Luke? So we got a question here rather than a hot take.
I think he's just building out the story.
Yeah.
I look at it as
I don't think BC Scrubs is asking if he's undoing the sequels.
No.
I think that he's saying, is he building the story in a way that sort of undoes the damage to the Star Wars zeitgeist?
No, I think that, again, it's like how Clone Wars helped Matt for Anakin. I think that the Mandoverse is going to help Luke Skywalker for the sequel trilogy. I
kind of agree. I think that my thing with Luke and the sequels is that he is not... I don't mind where he goes. It's just I like this line from Mark Hamill. He says, you go through the original trilogy and it's like seeing James Bond get his license to kill, and then you never see him
do his thing.
Go do his thing, right? Yeah. So you get to see Luke become a Jedi, and then that's it. That's the end of the story. And then by the time we pick him back up, and now he's given up on life. It's like, well, there's a lot there in the middle. Yeah. That I think that if we got that, then that's great. Because I hear a lot of people say, like, did you not want to see Luke go through another character arc? It's like, yeah, I did. And I'm glad he went through one, but I wanted to see what led up to that. How did you take the guy who was the most optimistic, the most hopeful person in the original trilogy, and how do you beat him down that far? I can get behind it, but you're going to have to show it to me.
Thrawn will break him.
His masters were a bunch of Eeyores too. I mean, once they lost, they quit the universe as well.
Yeah, but I mean, Luke is different. That's
he's the secret sauce.
But again, I don't think that his decision is wrong. I want to see what leads to that. That's
we talked about this. Like Luke banishing himself makes complete sense because that's exactly what Yoda and Obi-Wan did after their utter galactic failure.
Yeah.
But it was the way he treated Rey, Chewie, everyone on that island was just gross.
Yeah, he's mean. He's too mean.
Luke's not an asshole.
You're okay. You can say it on TV.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry, butthole.
It's okay.
Butthole.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all right. He's a butt.
All right, Risky Squirrel says, should they leave Yoda's race a mystery or finally tell us? No, they should never tell us.
Yeah, we don't even know.
They're the Yodas.
Yep, the Grogus.
And I'll
the Din Grogus.
Real quick little side thing here. So at my work, we did a team building exercise this week because we got like new HR people this past year.
Yeah.
And it's based on a Harvard study. It's this Lego challenge. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this. No. We were building the N1 starfighter with the Mandalorian and Grogu.
Really?
Yeah. So it was like several teams. Okay, I won't bore you with the details. But nobody at my work, because I'm like the youngest person there, knows about Star Wars, and to have to endure all of and no one even bothered with calling him Baby Yoda. It was just Yoda the whole time. And I was just like,
oh yeah, I would have fought people.
I can't
headbutting.
And
I start headbutting people by the end of the day.
This was the one that got me though. When we got our thing, because we got an incomplete set, that was part of the thing. We put together Din, and he didn't have his helmet, and so I was like, "Hey, we're supposed to have a helmet." Somebody was like, "Oh, we have the helmet. It's right here." And they just put a single silver Lego stud on top of his head, and every single person in my team was convinced that was correct, and that I was wrong. And I'm like,
it's time to look for a new job, Konnor.
Did you not say that, like, guys, I've seen Star Wars?
I did. And I was like, guys, that's not right. And they're like, but it fits on his head.
Some communists.
I was like, what do you mean? It was a fun exercise, but I was like, gosh, What in the world? But
Dang.
anyway, so that reminded me that I had to
Dang.
share. Okay, Darth Christensen, hot take. Ahsoka is better than Rebels. You are correct. It's not a hot take.
I agree.
What do you think, Matt? Actually, I'm curious because you really like Rebels, don't you?
Oh, I love Rebels, and I don't know how you can take 8 episodes of Ahsoka and say it's greater than 4 seasons of Rebels. So I'm going to disagree with that one.
What about you, Seth? I know what you're going to say.
I like Ahsoka better, but I was going to say, are you going to really count the first season of Rebels?
I'll just say.
Yeah. I mean, I think Rebels really got cooking after the second season.
Here you go, Mortis. Matt's a Rebels guy.
Oh, I think Rebels is. I mean, hell, this could be a hot take. Rebels is almost better than the Clone Wars.
Wow.
I mean, Bad Batch
For
is
the
better
lore,
than both of them.
Yeah, remember, I am a child of the '80s. Like my Star Wars roots are the OT.
Yeah,
I just think that
Rebels bumps right into that.
I don't know. Rebels is
it's a weird beast.
It's a weird beast. I think
Kanan's death is probably top 3 emotional moments in Star Wars.
Really, Tony, Star Wars Sith. That surprises me. I did not know that.
Bad Batch is better than both of them.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. Well, we'll see. We'll see if it sticks to landing.
Okay.
See, my thing is, I agree with the whole Kanan thing. The way I describe Rebels is it's like the horse meme. The first panel is it's like it was drawn by a kindergartner.
Yeah.
That's season 1.
Season I know 2, exactly what you're talking about. You're being mean.
Season 2 is like
the fire
worse
horse.
Than me saying swear words, Konnor.
Maybe a middle schooler. But then the third one, that's like the fire. That's the fire horse.
How dare you?
I don't like season 1. I'm sorry. I can't. It's not my favorite.
You get the Inquisitors. Come on. His head looks the right way.
Yeah. There are things I like about it. I like Jason Isaacs as the Grand Inquisitor, but in season 1,
man, would it be really cool to bring him to live action for a show and then like not use the
we're not getting into this.
Zeb,
I'm just
Sabine, Ahsoka returns.
I'll be real. In season 1, the only member of the Rebels cast that I like is Hera. I don't like. None of them resonate with me. Now, season 2,
apple bottom jeans.
Oh my gosh, season 2 they get a little bit better, but when I get to the end of Rebels, I still don't like Ezra. I'm not an Ezra fan. Kanan grew on me.
Okay, stop it. Now he's dropping the hot takes. How can you not like Ezra?
I think he's annoying, and he actively detracts from.
He takes down Thrawn, the sacrifice.
No, he doesn't. He tells the whales to get out of Dodge.
Look, okay, I don't hate Ezra, but he actively undermines the crew several points, and that's fine for a character that's growing. Ahsoka was like that in the beginning of her career in Clone Wars, but Ezra never gets better. He gets stronger in the Force a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, so I guess there you go. There's a late stage hot take for you. Ezra's just not my guy.
Nice.
I got a lot of heat for that during Ahsoka when he popped in. We had a funny.
I like Star Wars Sith for a reason. Not only does he have an excellent beard, but his opinions are spot on.
League has a great point here. He says, "I concur. Ezra is annoying and never learns his lesson." Right? Mortis, this might be the hottest take you've had all night. Hey, man,
stop it, look, League.
I appreciate what Rebels has brought us. I like
Bob
it overall.
End the discussion right there. Chopper,
he's great. He's great. He's a great droid. And I like
R2.
And I'll be real, I like the art style. I like that it's Ralph McQuarrie. I dig that. So, but I mean, back to the question. I think Ahsoka is a better package. The last 2 episodes kind of fall off a little bit, but I think Ahsoka is a better package than Rebels.
Live action Thrawn.
Yeah.
See, that's why I didn't have a problem with him. I'm not like young Nick would.
He hates him. I know.
Thrawn on fire. If he.
I know. I loved him. I think he's great, and I that's why I love season 3 of Rebels. I think that Thrawn is awesome. I think season 4 of Rebels is really good too. It's not quite as good as season 3 in my opinion. Okay, pulling up some of these hot takes from the chat from MortisFM, who thinks that I have the hottest take of the night so far. Hot take: Starkiller Base is dope, but only because we now know it's Ilum. It wasn't as cool in 2015 when we didn't know.
I don't know. Terraforming a planet's kind of cool. Yeah. Makes it different than a Death Star.
I think that it was neat. That whole scene in TFA when you have Hux doing the Nazi routine.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's terrifying.
He gets amped up, man.
Yeah.
Dom Hall Gleason giving it his all.
Yeah.
But it is cooler that we know it's Ilum. I think that's neat.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Matt? Do you have an opinion on that?
I kind of knew that going into it because I'm a weirdo, so I never had a problem with Starkiller Base. I love TFA actually. I think it's a pretty darn good movie.
Yeah, I agree. I like TFA as well. KDO, people were upset about Rey and Snoke's backstories, but I am also upset about the lightsaber mystery. Yeah, same. Cole Cohen 808, my hot take, Andor S2 is going to change everything once people see the nitty gritty, the real rebels, than in Andor S1, S2, Rogue One, and A New Hope, Empire. That's how all 5 things connect. Hey, even though Andor's not my bag, I'm kind of with you. I think the Andor S2 has the opportunity to really do some cool stuff.
Make his droid K2SO. I'll be fine.
Seth, when I saw that, I was like, thank you. I've got someone else in that camp.
Yeah, I think it has to happen.
Yeah.
They're gonna take his chip and jam it into K2S.
Yep. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm excited. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Even though, like I said, as a show, I think Andor's great. I know Seth is the resident Andor hater. But
do we really want to get into that right
now? You don't
now?
like Lord Gilroy, huh?
I feel like that he's the Zack Snyder of the Star Wars directors.
Dude, he'll fight you if he hears that. He's that type of guy. Like I think he'd be like, "All right, you want to fight?"
I mean,
I think he's a terrific filmmaker. I just think he gets in his own head
Andor's really pretty. I just don't like how great it is.
That guy's got some hot takes. Like if everyone hears some hot takes,
dude, I know
Tony Gilroy interviews.
Yeah,
he loves himself some Tony Gilroy.
Yeah, I mean that's the best way to say it. Rick Darklighter says Filoni is so reverent of every story note that is OG. He's George's apprentice. He's just trying to elevate and create coherent stories that honor the source material. I completely agree. I don't think that. I think Filoni's not infallible, but I think that he's
trying to do right by George.
He's the one person trying to.
He was handpicked by the maker. I mean,
yeah. Completely agree. Completely agree. And then League has a hot take. Oh wait. I got to go to Rich's here first. Rich Castro, Cad Bane from Clone Wars could take Boba Fett.
Yes,
I agree. I agree.
What Boba Fett?
Peak Boba Fett.
No, he couldn't.
No, peak Boba Fett is on Tython in terms of live action. Like if you guys are gonna pull out Legend stuff, it doesn't count.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying Boba Fett beats Cad Bane in the story.
When? Peak Cad Bane versus peak
Boba Fett. Done.
Well, I guess it was settled in the Book of Boba Fett.
It was. Even old man.
But Cad
even
was
as
old.
an old man.
But so was Cad.
Exactly.
Was old.
Even as old men, Boba Fett still beat him. So even why would that change from them being young?
Because Cad was always the best. He was the best bounty hunter.
Oh, why does Cad have a plate on his head, Konnor?
Yeah.
When Boba Fett was 13, he shot him in the head and killed him.
That's
true.
Okay, yep, I forgot about that.
I also
right.
Sorry, guys.
Yep.
Fine.
You're right.
You got me on that one. Fine.
I take it back. I forgot.
Okay. Yeah.
Fine. Seth got me on that one.
Yeah, sometimes
the casualty of the sale to Disney is we lost that episode, that story arc.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, he still has the plate on his head in Bad Batch and in Book of Boba Fett, I feel like it's soft
by the
canon.
way, as another thing, Book of Boba Fett should have had Cad Bane as the villain from the first episode, and we should have had a flashback to that. That way it would have been a full circle thing when they fight again in the finale.
Yeah, I was kind of angling for that too when we'd break it down, but...
All right, League's hot take. TLJ battle with Luke and Kylo is the greatest example of a master teaching his apprentice one final lesson. I'll get down with that.
Yeah.
It's either that or what about the Ahsoka? And what about the Ahsoka vision?
Oh, you know what? Fair. It's number 2 to that. I mean, Anakin with Ahsoka.
Yeah,
I agree. But yeah, it's a good take, irregardless.
I think that Luke's battle with Kylo is the greatest
greatest
example of your weapons. You do not need them. Passive Jedi, all of it.
Yeah.
And so we're going to kind of wind down here then with that. I appreciate all you guys in the chat. This has been a very lively chat, guys. You guys have been awesome.
It's been fun.
Hope you guys have enjoyed the hot take. See, we're all still friends after this. I don't feel like we got too hard in the mud at all. A couple times with the Yub Nub thing.
I was going to say, apparently the line is drawn with Yub Nub.
Yeah, that was the line in the sand, I think. So, but once again, just want to thank all you guys in the chat for being here. I want to thank the channel members too. I'm trying to get better about that. I put out the emojis, by the way. I don't know if you guys noticed.
Well, we got a bunch of Tuskens hanging out.
Yeah, that's because those are more than 1 month members. They're the Tusken Raiders. So if you're new, If you're new, you're a Jawa.
Oh.
If you're 1 month, you're a Tusken. And if you build all the way up to a year, you get to be that old wizard beyond the Dune Sea.
Oh.
So,
When's the
Do they
Gongroid
make that
coming?
easy to set up? Because I've been too lazy to set up memberships for us.
well, so the reason it took me so long is I couldn't do it on mobile. Yeah, Star Wars Sith is throwing in the emojis.
Look at that. There's a George
I
and a
put those
Jar
in here,
Jar. Vader.
Yes, that is easy to set up, but I do not do it on mobile. My goodness. I tried to do that after I got membership set up originally. Because to be honest with you, I didn't expect people to do it. And then we got like several people being members. Thank you guys so much.
Yes.
I mean, Star Wars Sith, Mortis, KDO. I think KDO is our first night level member.
Oh.
Appreciate that so
Yes,
much.
thank you.
Damn.
We don't
You guys
deserve-
are impressive.
We don't deserve
Kudos
that.
Again.
We don't deserve that.
But yeah, just wanted to shout you guys out because I want to get better about doing
Guys
that.
are absolute dogs over here.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know about
would-
that.
No.
We stand on the shoulders of giants, my friend.
It's
Quite literally with our setup here. You see that? See how I did that? We're on.
You put the short guy on the bottom. Thank you.
yeah.
But just once
I
again,
could stand up and I'd still fit in my window frame.
how tall are you?
You guys know that?
Because the way you have your camera angle here, I just cannot picture you being a short person. How
Oh no, I'm tiny. I'm 5'6".
are you
Oh.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I used to be pleasantly plump too, 5'6", 230. These days I'm rocking about 140. So
Well, look at
I've
you.
got my health under control. But yeah, I used to be quite a little roly poly man.
Gotcha. Well, look at you. That's awesome.
Well, you do a good job with the camera angle because I would have expected you to be
Yeah,
like 6
I thought
foot.
you were at least,
No, I
Figured you were taller than me.
Very, very tall little guy.
okay.
Or short little guy. I'm sorry.
I
You're
love
the
it.
tallest little guy I know. You're the
I love Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to the hot takes. And if you're listening back to this and you got a hot take, drop it in the comments, please. And if you wouldn't mind throwing a like on this video or a dislike, I'd actually be curious about that. If you thought our takes were abysmal, just to see how that works out, how that shakes. But thank you guys so much. Thank you guys to the members, everybody in the chat. We appreciate you guys so much. And most importantly, thanks Matt for coming on the show. It was a blast.
Thank
man.
you. Thank you.
Thanks for dealing with the technical hiccups too.
Mhm.
This was a blast. It was everything I could ask for. Thanks again for the bump, some of the promos you gave us. Anyone here listening, if you want to come tune into a slightly more chaotic presentation of Star Wars thoughts, youtube.com/StarWarsTimeShow, usually Tuesday nights, 5 p.m. East. We'll probably be switching to Wednesdays once Bad Batch comes in the season to do day of breakdowns, but we'd love to have some more friends. So thanks again to these dudes over here. I look up to them and what they produce. I'm excited to see their content every week. I look forward to the trailers like the rest of you on Fridays. They're a couple of good dudes. Known Konnor for a while through digital. Glad to finally sit down and talk with Seth. He is the hero I expected. So I appreciate the time. And this was fun. Let's do it again.
Absolutely,
Yes.
man. Well, yeah, please go check out Star Wars Time Show. And their show is always live. So our show is not usually live. Their show is always live on, he said Tuesdays usually, might be moving to Wednesdays on Bad Batch. So Wednesdays, check them out during Bad Batch. And then on Fridays, come check us out.
Enough
So,
Star Wars to go around.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
before we go, just a little tease for next week. We kind of teed it up a little bit.
I know. I was going to say that. I'm like, how far down this rabbit hole are we going?
So all I'm going to say is for next week, Seth, what is the better finale? Return of the Jedi or Revenge of the Sith?
I guess we'll find out.
We'll see you guys next week.